That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. AM1. As you can see, I got a special guest with me right here. We're gonna get into this guy because we go back and we go back to a place in a time here online where we was in the trenches talking some things, talking some
Mm,
some topics,
right.
and now we're full circle in the summer of 2026. And we gotta go head to head. This is a round two of something that went down a few years back. Me and my guy
Mhm.
right here.
Right, right.
He was coming at me kind of crazy. Uh,
Nah,
so I
knock
had
it
to
off.
I had to
Go ahead, man.
I had to get some get back. But I was like, you know what? We're gonna do this real diplomatic. Come through. Let's chop it up. Dr. Thunder in the building. Send life
Oh,
serve
Doc
ice.
Thunder. Doc Thunder. What up? What
Yeah.
up?
We gonna get into some things because we kind of got beef, but not really, not really. Calm down. But conflict sells. Y'all shout out and welcome my guy Marcus Aurelius, aka Eloquently Petty, and we got to talk about that as well because that's kind of a new jump off. Introduce yourself. Let them know exactly what we rocking with here, sir.
All right, yo, for everybody that just jumped in, I appreciate y'all jumping in here, man. Y'all already know. Marcus Aurelius, aka Keep It 100, aka Eloquently Petty, Articulate, a holery, uppity Negro swag, all of those things. Y'all already know what it is. Keep it 100 forever. Y'all already know what it is, man. Yeah, now on the Eloquently Petty channel, man. Talk about some other things. So shout out to everybody in that place and time. What AM1 is talking about, and we are here to discuss, some old things and some new things. So let's do it.
So there's so many ways we can go with this. We can go back, we can go forward. Right
Mm,
about now, because I kind of did a pivot myself. So
right.
so just to refresh people. So within this channel, I've been rocking with this channel a few different algorithms, but I found myself some years back, a good 8 or so years ago, falling into this algorithm where there was something that is typically referred to as Black YouTube. And that also evolved itself into something that's referred to as the Black Manosphere. And, I popped up on panels, expanded, rocked with different people, collab, did this and that. Uh, Chopped it up with O'Shea, chopped it up with KS, chopped it up with a lot of people, all of the big names, Angry Man, so many people, Obsidian, well, some of the big names. But along the way, I took a lot of arrows. I took a lot of heat because I was like, I understand black issues. I understand black male issues. But are we talking about solutions? And I do have a petty side. So, respective petty, eloquently petty. I really love that title. So, I got to a point where the pettiness just had to keep flowing because I was trying to say a lot of things. People know me for saying phrases like skills and resources. When everything kind of evolved into it always got to be about what the women is doing, ain't doing. I'm like, yeah, I get it, but solutions because you can't force them to do anything. I came with phrases like nobody owes you anything, and a lot of guys didn't want to hear it. And shout out to guys like Ty City and Ramil who championed the slogan SBE, shame, blame, and explain. And I understood what they were saying with that. And it was a way to essentially call out and be a little bit petty, I'll be honest, but call out the idea that if we're going to talk black issues, black male issues moving forward and pushing through these things, it has to be solutions, right? And we watch people blow up with channels, get the backdrops, and just kind of run this thing where we're going to talk about what the B Dub is doing, what the B Dub ain't doing. And of course, I get it, I understand, but I'm also solutions oriented. What do you think about anything I said so far there, Marcus?
So going back to that time period, I remember you guys doing at this point is kind of a legendary conversation, right? Where you, Ramil, I don't think Ty City was there, a few other guys. And a lot of people don't know this, right? But you guys were having a conversation. Now, what happened on my end was I got a hit by somebody that I used to be in contact with, told me that there was a conversation happening where there was this list. You remember the list?
The Manosphere list, yes.
Right? Right. Legendary stuff, right? Legendary stuff. So there was the Manosphere list. So he's like, yo, your name is on this list. So, I'm a Brooklyn dude. I want to see what's good. So I pop up. I'm like, yo, I'm looking around. I see the list on the screen. I see all these names, right? And in that name is Keep It 100. I'm like, okay, all right. I'm on the panel. He's let me on the panel. I'm going to chill. I'm going to just wait my turn. Just wait my turn. Just wait my turn. Everybody's talking. I'm in somebody else's house. I'm going to wait my turn to speak. And that's, I'm waiting. Nobody says, hey, it's Marcus and he's in the building. Nobody says this. So I said, hey, I wait for a nice little break of silence in the discussion. I don't know if you still got this stream on your channel, but I think it was your channel. I said, hey, what's going on? This is Marcus, blah, 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 blah. I said, hey, so what's going on? I'm trying to get a gist of what the conversation is. So then I think it was you jumped in, you said, and you started to explain to me what you guys were talking about. I said, what is this list? What is this list? So, this is the Manosphere list and yada, yada, yada. And you started telling me basically, I guess what you guys' opinion of the space is or whatever the case is, right? So then I said, okay, well, I'm hearing the term SBE thrown around. Now, I've heard it before. Now, at this point, I was not familiar or not acquainted with Tie City at this point, right? Everybody, for everybody that did not know that, I had no idea. I'm doing Keep It 100. I'm minding my business. I'm chilling. I ain't in nobody's issue. I ain't in nobody's beef, right? So you guys tell me what SBE means. And I'm like, that makes sense to me, right? Now, I still maintain it's not everybody in the space, but I'm like, what you guys are saying made sense to me. So, because Rabil is like, yo, who is this guy? Because I'm like, not everybody in the space does it. So it sounds like I'm defending the Manosphere, right? And I kind of was, because still to this day, I maintain not everybody is SBE, but some of the major players are, right? So, and to be honest, when the major players in the situation you're in are doing something, then that kind of puts the image of the whole space in that situation. So I understand how somebody outside looking in could say, yo, these guys are doing this. So once I got what the definition of SBE was, that's when I go and do the stream. You know the stream I'm talking about. Let's talk SBE on the Keep It 100 channel. I go do this stream. Now, when I went into doing this stream, bro, I'm doing a regular stream like I think I'm doing a regular stream. I'm in my mind, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna have some of the brothers on. I'm gonna say, hey, they saying this SBE thing, right? And I think it's valid. I'm like, yo, like, I think that, in my opinion, just like y'all say, these chicks know they don't care, et cetera, right? I'm on that. I've been on that. I just ain't have a name for it. Y'all calling it SBE. I'm like, yo, why are we trying to negotiate and do this and do that? So if you look at any of my videos prior to Let's Talk SBE, I've been on that. I've been talking to these guys. I ain't gonna say the names, but I've been talking to these guys, the head honchos and everybody beneath, that this was my point of view, just like you. I'm solutions based. I've been telling them, listen, look, they like this. This is how they see it. I don't care how many statistics we drop and how many this and that. We could talk about what they're doing all day. How do we move forward, right? What can we do? Because we ain't got it to leverage their change in behavior. We ain't got none of that. We can't do none of that. So that's what that stream was intended to do. Was going to be me and a few dudes having that conversation. What it turned into, because I think you guys was like, yo, he talking trash about the SBE. Let's pull up on him, right? So this is what happened. Let's keep it real. This is what happened. So the SBE crew descends down upon the Keep It 100 channel, right?
Man, you better keep this right. We don't want no revisionist history.
No. I'm speaking based on the video you did after the fact. I think you said because you did a video that I saw. This is before me and you ever spoke, right? You did a video and you was like, yo, this guy, he did a video based on SBE, and we thought he was trying to trash SBE. And then when y'all pulled up, y'all realized I wasn't talking trash about SBE. I was pretty much co-signing it. Do you remember that?
Oh, okay. I feel where you're coming from, but keep going, because
right. So when y'all pulled up, I'm in my mind just based on the video you did. I'm thinking like, yo, y'all about to come for me. But then when y'all realized it was not what y'all thought it was, then it's like, okay, let's hear them out. And I had no idea, mind you. We know how many, like when we do these streams, we can look and see how many people is in the live chat, right? And I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, yo, these ain't my numbers. I'm like, these ain't my numbers. I know how much people are watching my stream on a regular Monday, Tuesday, right? It'd be like maybe 50 to 80 people. And I'm like, yo, this is going like 150 to 200 people. I'm like, where are these people coming from? I didn't put Jay-Z name in the title. I didn't say nothing crazy. I ain't hashtag nothing. I ain't talking no crazy topic that I know of. So I'm seeing all, and then I'm getting people jumping on the panel who I don't normally get. And I'm seeing the chat going bananas. And I'm like, yo, there's something going on here. There's something going on here. And that's when, I get Sexy Red and I get, Marty McFly, and I'm getting all these people, and I'm seeing everybody going wild in the chat and people talking, and it's names I'm not used to seeing and all that stuff. So eventually Ty City jumps in and we have a conversation, and that was me and Ty's first. No, I'm going too fast. First, Ramil jumps in. Do you remember this? Yep. Ramil jumps in, and there's that moment where he said what he said, and I said, yo, I co-sign everything he said. Let me tell you something, right? That moment right there sealed my fate with the Cast in the Space. I agreed with Ramil in front of Elijah Muhammad. And that's the code name I'm gonna use today. He said what he said. Right. He said what he said. And I was like, I co-sign everything that man just said. And the room got quiet.
Yeah.
And the room got quiet. Listen, the room got quiet, right? Tice, shout out to Tice. He said, I forgot about SBE. Let me tell you something, bro. Let's Talk SBE is still to this day the most viewed video on that channel. Still to this day. The most viewed video on that channel. Yo, listen, I didn't know what was going down, bro. I didn't know what was going down. I didn't know it was going to go down like that. People think I set them up. I didn't set nobody up. It went down the same way it went down for everybody else. It went down for me. And yeah, but that was kind of like a crossroads. I was opposed to a lot of ideas. Right, I was opposed to because they didn't make sense to me. Go ahead.
We're missing some context here, so we got to get some broader context. Within the so-called Black Manosphere, there was some different factions. There was the like 3 original guys that sort of built it. The godfathers of it. Right.
They said the horsemen.
The horsemen, and we're talking like Manosphere 2.0, I guess, because we got into these different variations of it. So it was the O'Shea, Angry Man, and Obsidian, but there was a 4th figure that I don't know. I don't mind saying
Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah. So we got this guy who has his own faction and never shows his face. Was kind of tucked off, but was had people sort of sitting at his foot as if he was some type of master teacher kind of guy who happened to know everything about everything. And if you try to challenge him on it, then he starts mumbling and stuttering and getting real feisty about it and getting emotional about it. And but it's this Black Manosphere thing, which was comprised of a lot of lost young and older men deep off into their 30s and even 40s, following some guy they've never seen, but was described as some kind of high level intellectual. And people just kind of locked in with that and accepted that, because you can kind of come online and just be who you want to be without showing any kind of receipts or anything. Now, again, you don't have to co-sign this, but this is my view on it. And I was like, guys can just be whatever they want to be. And, I've interacted with this guy directly on my panels and various panels and come to understand, oh, so this really is this thing where you found some sense of belonging or power in this online thing, and you got younger Black men following behind you, even though they can't really relate with you and all this. It just highlights how many lost young guys are out here.
Right. So let me speak to that. Right. So the way I feel about that is this. And everybody, and there's a lot of people in the chat that circle that are listening to me talk. I've always been kind of the prodigal guy in that faction, because me and old boy, we've had a lot of differences of opinion, right? And over a lot of things, right? And look, it's like, if you disagree with your people and y'all cool outside of that disagreement, you guys can have a civil conversation on opposite sides of the line. Shout out to Dr. Thunder. We do this all day, right? You can have ideological differences, but be cool outside of that discussion. So there would be people in the space where I would have a difference of opinion with them, but for me, it's just conversation. But like you said, some guys get emotional about it because their belief, for some of them, is their being, right? Is who they are, like what they believe and how they see the world, their worldview. You attack that and you attack them. And in this guy's particular case, I think what it is with him is he presents himself to be the things you say, like, I'm the all-seeing, all-knowing, omniscient, grand high exalted mystic ruler type. And anything that you do to put a chink in that armor, he's gonna take a certain way. And not only him, but the people who view him this way, right? Now, this was not something that was lost on me in that time. Wasn't. I remember having a conversation again. I don't know if you still have this stuff with you and Sly, right? I can't pull none of this stuff up anywhere. But that conversation that occurred between us three, and we were talking about him, I said, listen, this is the way I see him. Like, I stand by everything that I said in that video. I feel like he's a pro-Black nationalist dude who is trying to get dudes back into the BS. I don't know if you want me. I'm trying to keep it as clean as I possibly can, right? But he's trying. To me, I feel like that space is a quote unquote red pill space, and so a lot of the things that he say is not red pill, and I'm red pill to the gut, right? Whether it be I'm running this channel or that channel. My core philosophy is that I don't think that, like you said, his faction of the space is that. I don't, right? Secondly, this idea that these three guys started this thing, they did not. There was a manosphere before the Manosphere 2.0. There were creators that existed before these guys saying these same things. I mean, shit. Tommy Sotomayor was huge on the internet before any of these guys you want to name, right? So is he Black Manosphere? So where like, if you want to say, well, somebody coined the term Manosphere or whatever, that's debatable. But at the end of the day, these ideas did not begin with these three guys. And two of those guys are not even in the conversation anymore. Right? So, like I told you before, two of the guys two of the guys that you named, even in our previous discussion, which is still up on my channel, by the way, I said, you know, two of these guys I can point to and put the finger of SBE on, and I'll say their names. That would be Obsidian and BGS. Those are the two guys that I would immediately say, those are the guys that I would say, yo, they are doing shame, blame, and explain. Without, and I said it then, I say it now. I've never been a guy to tiptoe, bite my tongue, none of this shit. So those are the guys that I would say. And it was guys like us, even though we're affiliated with these guys, we have differing views on differing things, right? So whereas you might get them doing that feedback loop thing that you're talking about, and I never said, and this is still reflects in our discussion previously, that a lot of the stuff you're saying doesn't exist. I would say that it exists, you know, with certain content creators and their audiences, and the rest of us, even though we might interact with said content creators, we don't necessarily hold all those views to be valid. So, you know, at the end of the day, what I'm saying is, you know, it's a lot of things that were happening and still are happening in that space that I had to disassociate from. So somebody says Tommy disowned the manosphere. Rightfully so. Like Tommy, outside of his political nonsense, when he talks about the interactions between black men and black women, he's on point. And he was spitting them ideas before Kevin Samuels, before the guys we mentioned, before all of these guys. So like what I'm saying is, and another thing is, you know, there's this idea that these ideas weren't being communicated or articulated in some intellectual fashion before these guys came along. It's all goofy shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I had to disassociate myself with that shit, because at the end of the day, like you know, there's so much things wrong. I can go into the whole Pearl Davis issue. I can go into Charlie Kirk. I can go into the Andrew Wilson. I can go, bro. It's just so much. It's like a layer cake of cornball shit that I can't be associated. It's to the point where it's like, no matter how cool I think a person is, and then at this point, it's like if I challenge any of these ideas, then I'm the ops. Go ahead, bro. I'm listening.
You kind of, look, you're my guest here, but you know, we've done the effery. You kind of soft shoeing the thing, man. You kind of revising it. You kind of revising it, and I don't know if I can just let you slide like that.
No, talk to me.
Because we got to be honest. Yes, there was a growth of seemingly major-ish players of varying degrees within this sort of Black Manosphere thing, and I think we got to be honest about the idea that it became content clearinghouse, a content wave of guys. The high percentage of their content, they was getting mics, they was getting setups, and it was Keisha content. That's why the phrase came about. We're gonna hit this over the head, and I get it, because hey,
I'm not protesting that.
Pure entrepreneurship. If people want to buy it, we're gonna keep selling it. But we got married guys, we got guys that haven't been on a date in years, talking about black male dating. Guys my age, I'm coming up on 48. We got guys my age, older, talking about the current dating market, and we got young lost men out here chewing this stuff up. But it's like, hey, I get it. If the super chats are gonna flow and you get to be somebody, and you got these guys paying you, and you get to be somebody, and you got guys paying you, and they want it, okay.
So I don't think I'm saying anything that opposes that idea. Only thing I will add to that, and to give clarification, is we have to be clear on what the manosphere is versus what the Black manosphere is. So if we're talking about dating coaches and things like that, that's not Black manosphere. It's manosphere. It's even red pill, but it's not Black manosphere. And I think that the difference between one and the other is Black manosphere is very specific. Right? It's very specific about what it talks about. You got the manosphere, they talk about general dating stuff. They talk about general red pill stuff. So when I say manosphere, general manosphere, I'm talking about guys like Fresh and Fit, guys like Andrew Tate, Sneeko, and these types. Those are manosphere guys, right?
No. I agree with that.
So let me get to it. You got Black manosphere. Now, Black manosphere, like the stuff you talking about, Keisha content, that's Black manosphere. The other group, the other guys I mentioned, General Manosphere, they don't make Black specific or Black woman specific stuff, right? So when you talk about Black Manosphere, apart from the Keisha content, you do got guys talking about you know, access to your children, boys reading scores and things of this nature, right? You got guys like that. Now, like you said, the majority of the stuff, like you said, is Keisha content, right? But the Keisha content's valid, bro. It's valid. I don't have a problem with Keisha content. What I have a problem with is if you're gonna talk about Keisha, you can't then turn around and tell guys, go find a Keisha to marry. Go find a Keisha to have kids with. That's my issue. Like, so
bring them back to the table. So that's the whole secondary thing, because I see
there you go.
But no,
there you go.
Trust me, I know your arc with this whole situation because I sat back and watched it because I was like, I've heard you. We got Keisha content, BFF. We got whole phrases because Black folks are so creative, coming up with all kind of phrases and names for everything, and I get it. And I'm not mad at it. But if you want to talk in the realm of, again, I work with young Black men out in the real world and did so before I ever stumbled online. So I have this weird thing where I got to see how this is really impacting young guys' minds and the decisions they're making, and are they really moving successful in life in the real world? I'm a real world kind of guy, not I'm on a mic hiding behind an avatar and I'm some type of a master teacher. I'm not that guy, but I can show like real world stuff I do, not even to gas it up. But some people will blow it off and say whatever. I'm only saying it to the degree that it's like cyclical arguments about what the B-dub is doing over and over. It just got corny to me. But I'm looking at who's rocking like that, who's rocking with that, and who's leveraging this economy, right? And it's like, hey, I could have ran it up more and been like, yeah, we're going to talk Keisha, we're going to talk BFF and get a bag and get some,
But everybody's not getting a bag. So understand this, right? And I think I told you this a couple years back. Everybody's not, like, the guys who are talking about this stuff, the bag ain't that big for most of the guys, right? So let's talk about who was or is getting a bag, right? We could say Kevin Samuels got a bag, right? But he's not who I would consider Black manosphere. He's a Black content creator in the manosphere, but he's not Black manosphere. He didn't speak to Black specific things. At least that wasn't his entire platform. He touched on it, but he was touch and go with it. If you want to talk about who's getting a bag in the Black manosphere, we can talk about Dennis Sperling. He's somebody who's getting a bag. These are guys with, anything north of 40 to 50,000 subscribers, and they get decent viewership, right? You want to talk about BGS Sidmore, who has 40,000 subs last time I looked, and gets a decent amount of people watching his program. You want to talk about Dr. T. Hassan Johnson, who gets a decent amount of viewers to his program. But out of all these guys that I just mentioned, Dr. T is probably one of the few that I will actually endorse. What I'm saying to you is there's a bigger bag in doing what, like, let's say what's this guy, Ace Metaphor is doing.
For sure.
To promoting Keisha is a bigger bag than Keisha bashing, right? What I'm saying is, hear me out. Anybody outside of the names that I mentioned is not getting a bag. Unless you want to, to me, a bag is, this is what I do. I don't do shit else. But
no, hold on. So let me clarify that thing. From my position, when I say get a bag, I'm just saying get money. Whether it's $5 here, $5 there, $100 there.
It's not worth it.
Well, all I'm saying is this.
Right.
And you actually are making my point. Part of this whole thing was, and I know how this works, there are guys who never had anything really popping in the real world. There are guys who was never that dude out in the real world. And they came here to this space and found they could be someone. And people like me.
But that's
I'm
validation. That's not.
That's my
So
point.
let's
Wait,
talk.
hold on. For a
Go
lot of
ahead.
these guys, the validation is actually more important than the money. And that this is where we get into this thing with the
Okay.
SBE. Hear me out here. Hear
Right.
me out.
Right.
Uh, how's my
Somebody
mic
saying
off?
your sound. I can hear you fine. By
Can
the way.
everybody else hear me? 1 2 1 2. Mic audio check. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Because nobody else was saying that this whole time.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. I don't
Oh, he said your
understand.
sound works. You just said mic was off. No, so peep game.
Okay.
This is something I've been saying the whole time. Guys came here and found validation, and that's actually more important in a lot of cases than the money. So we can talk about guys who I was, cool with. Edward Anderson. Nothing else really going on in life, no real motion, but I found something here. And obviously he's attached to the whole BGS faction clan. And it's like guys will fight you and want to kick you down if you say, hey, I'm more interested in if this is some kind of black manosphere space or black YouTube, let's come with solutions more than just cyclical stuff about something you can't control. That was always my position. So the SBE thing became a funny kind of way to kind of jab at that and be really petty and say, oh, y'all just want to keep talking about the same shit. So we took a lot of arrows running it up on that, and it was a funny kind of thing.
Yeah,
and it was
but
hella entertaining though.
no. I get all of that, man. Listen. My BGS Edward Anderson debates are legendary. Again, it's all up, bro. And listen, you telling me about an Edward Anderson. Me and Ed Anderson are cool, but we done had dog down debates on this. Bro, just go to my page and click disagreement day. Any link. Disagreement day, bro. Like I can say, bro, it's there. I've been going back and forth with these dudes over the issues that you're pointing out. So when you say that, just understand, when you say bag, it's a smaller amount of people. When you say validation, then now we having a different conversation. That's validation. So when it comes to validation, okay, there's a lot of guys who come online and they're validated through their affiliation with the space and certain people within it. You're not going to get a debate from me with that at all. The thing about an Ed Anderson, his whatever his alignment is with Elijah Muhammad is I couldn't explain it to you. I don't listen. I could turn my computer off, bro. You understand what I'm saying? I can log out. I can't explain what another person's like weird obsession or weird allegiance to an invisible guy is. I can't. Oh, I'm here for conversations. If I agree with you today, cool. If I disagree with you today, cool. Now, it ain't bigger than that for me. But there's guys here, like I go back and forth with guys. I went back and forth with guys on YouTube, and I continue to go back and forth with guys on Facebook who continue to defend this old weirdo. Everybody, bro, if you seen my last few streams on that channel and even my posts on Facebook, I stay throwing rocks, bro, at that thing that you're talking about. And I think that most of you guys' grievances is around that figure, that person, right? Most of the issues that we got in the space, us different content creators, is related to that one person. And there's people in the chat now, and I'm talking to you guys. Most of the smoke that the black manosphere has gotten is from that guy. I said that to you, and I said that to Sly that night. Most of the issues that we get is due to him throwing rocks at people, getting into issues, instead of just having sensible conversations, right? It's that guy who got, nobody could check his ego because niggas is shook because they scared to get kicked out of some fake internet boys club. Right? Now, you saying that, oh, I'm skirting around it. No, bro, I've never skirted around any of that. All of these dudes that's in the chat right now who know my face and name has heard me say the same shit a million times. Listen, bro, I don't need to be part of no fake virtual hierarchy, a cult. Because this is what I got a guy debating me on Facebook right now about how cults are biological imperative and important for human survival. I'm like, you must not know the definition of a cult. Right? Let's do this, bro. Let's pull up. Go to Google. I want you to put on the screen the definition of a cult. I want to read it to the guys in the chat right now. Unless you want me to do it, I'll do it. Because I want people to understand, like, a cult ain't a club. A cult ain't a society. It's not a tribe or any of that. Okay? You can make that larger if you can. Hit that. Yeah, there we go. A cult is a cohesive social group characterized by unquestioning devotion to a charismatic leader, unorthodox belief, and the use of exploitative or manipulative psychological techniques to control members' behavior, thoughts, and emotions. If you don't think that that's a cult that you belong to over there, you got something wrong with you, bro. You got something wrong. Characterized by unquestioning devotion to a charismatic leader. There it is right there. Okay, scroll up a little bit. So characteristics and control methods. So sociologists and psychologists often point to specific signs that distinguish high control destructive groups from other religious and social organizations. Charismatic leadership, isolation, coercive control. Drop that down. Bring that up a little bit more. Exploitation. Leaders often take advantage of members for financial, emotional, or sexual purposes. Which you're saying, financial purposes, you're saying he's a grifter. The word cult originates from the Latin term cultus, meaning worship or devotion. Y'all call this nigga the master teacher. Okay? Cult status or cult classic. In modern colloquial terms, it can describe a highly dedicated fan base or an object media property with a devoted following. Y'all don't know y'all in a cult. The cult member don't know he in a cult. Just like the stupid nigga don't know he's stupid. Y'all worship this guy, bro. And anytime somebody say anything negative about him, no matter how valid or true, you jump out the wall, you jump out your face, you jump out your chest, you jump out the window. You're in a cult, bro. You could drop that down whenever you're ready, but you're in a cult, bro. That's the definition of a cult. And niggas will argue, nah, we disagree with him now and then. Nah, you say what you say, and then you let him railroad over your sentence. Bro, you think I don't listen to some of these streams? This dude talks down to his whole audience. He talks down to y'all. He talks down to y'all. So he talks to you, for y'all niggas in the back, and you write with crayons and all this nonsense. And, if anybody goes to this guy's streams, if they got a difference of opinion, he checks him right there. Or he might block him from the chat or drop him from the panel. Knock it off, man. That's why you never really see me. For everybody that's in the space, how many panels have y'all seen me on his channel? Not many. You got more fingers on one hand than how many panels I've been on that channel. You got more fingers on one hand. And I wouldn't be surprised if one of these dudes send homie the link so he can see this live. He's probably watching us right now.
I guarantee you nobody wants any parts of what I'm doing, or to the degree that they would come try to pull up on me, because everybody knows I've pretty much pivoted off this. I made fun of this stuff. I got real petty about it. Took a lot of arrows. Try to champion some different thought processes on this, standing on something that's like objectively true. Like, we're gonna talk black men, I said it for years, black manosphere, where that starts with men and it got to be men being better men. And you can bang your head up against the wall about what the women are doing, or you can try to create these factions, these cult-like behavior, which is not manly at all. So again, operative word, manosphere. Let's
So,
focus on how to make men better. And when I
uh,
came with a lot of that, people didn't like to hear it. I got the petty side, and
mm,
the brothers had the SBE thing, which made it perfect to just, hop on the petty wave of that, because it's like, why reinvent the wheel? I'm just saying
so
it from a standpoint of, hey, skills and resources. The guys didn't want to hear that. The women don't owe you nothing. They don't want to hear that. Uh,
well,
and to your point
go ahead.
about BGS, I've been on streams with him and thinks he knows everything. And it's really, you talked about the chink in the armor. And from, I forgot, what was that? That first stream that you talked about, that legendary stream where you actually had, I think it was Ramil who came on, talked about SBE.
Right.
I thought about it because I was like, well, wait a minute, Marcus kind of rocks with that lane over there, and you're a powerful, charismatic voice within that lane. And I'm just giving my perspective. So if you, for a split second, entertain the messaging from the guys who are talking to SBE type stuff, while still being willing to kind of just be your own guy and not really get into the cult, because I noticed you weren't really like with it. That's a tricky situation. Like, we want somebody like him kind of down with us, but at the same time, if he's gonna be his own guy too much, we can't have that. So I noticed there becoming more sort of conflict with you and that faction over some time, and then at a certain point, I think you was even like, you was off the, uh, not even doing any content for a while. Then I think you came back, and then more recently, you even kind of pivoted even more. Obviously, eloquently petty. Um, I just get into that whole cult breakdown. That's interesting.
So I wanna respond to not only that, but a lot of things that you spoke on. This is the thing, right? So Black Manosphere, right? Um, the original intent of the space was a few things. Yeah, it was number one to guys are allowed to vent. We're allowed to speak our truth, right? Just like women are allowed to speak their truth. Absolutely, right? Um, you're gonna have guys that been in the space. You're gonna have guys that are newly discovering the space. So they're allowed to speak their truth, right? Now, speaking your truth after a while, it gets to the point where it's like, okay, we're aware of this, we're aware of that. So, okay, what else? Right? So when it comes to Black Manosphere, the other thing that this thing was founded on was advocacy. You've heard that term thrown around the space, where it's like, okay, what we're trying to do is we're trying to establish an understanding of how things go with us in the system, whether it be, parenting, whether it be how the law treats us, and not just interpersonal relationships, but bigger than that, what we're dealing with politically and things like that. And those conversations do take place in the space. I think that outside of the space, all everybody else hears is Keisha, Keisha, Keisha. There's a lot of conversations that happen outside of the Keisha discussion. But because Keisha discussions bother most people, that's what they focus on, right? now, now that's my opinion of people's opinion of the space. But my opinion of the space is, if this is a men's space, truly a Black men's space, there shouldn't be anti-Black male ideas swirling around. That's my number one issue with the space right now. Other than that, the space should not be trying to navigate men back into relationships and situations that don't benefit them for whatever your belief system is, whether it's because you have religious beliefs or because you believe in Black love and Black nationalism and you want to see things go back to the way they were in the 60s where marriage rates were this high and all this other nonsense. We don't live in the 60s no more. We ain't Pan-Africans. Black nationalism is pro-female, and we don't care what church you go to. All of this is nonsense. I never have been in the business of telling black men to be sacrificial lambs for any reason whatsoever. And I don't care how it sounds. I'm with, like you say, skills and resources. I'm gonna tell you this, yo. I believe in skills and resources for selfish reasons. I believe in skills and resources for the betterment of yourself, the betterment of your people, and maybe if you're not black women's cup of tea, go somewhere else. Right? I don't think that skills and resources solves the issue between black men and women. Because no. Right, it doesn't do that. Now it makes you a better man.
That's what I thought we was on, but
right,
go ahead.
Right, makes you a better man, and I agree with you. These sorts of topics are not open for discussion in the space because a lot of guys, and too many guys, I'm not going to say everybody in the space, but too many guys feel like they should get credit like the bitches get credit. They want to get credit for existing. And that's not how the game works.
Take me as I am. Yes.
Right. They have
the women they complain about. Yes, go ahead.
Just like the women they complain about, they have adopted this take me as I am, I'm, type of thing. Now, even black men getting skills and resources, right? You get your skills, you get your resources. There are guys with skills and resources that are still having this issue. Right? They still got their black woman issue if that's what they're looking for. They're searching for that because, let's be honest, black women have a type. They have a type. Let's not tap dance around it. They have a type, and a lot of black dudes, most black men don't fit. Yes. They don't fit the type.
Yes.
Most black men are not attractive to most black women. That's just a fact. There is a small group. This is something that the space has been saying.
Just to keep it 100, myself included, but go ahead.
Right. There has been what the space has always been saying is there a small group of men that black women actually find attractive. Right. They swipe left more than they swipe right. Right. So what I try to tell brothers is you got a few choices. You can say, you know what? Let me become the type that black women want. We know what that type is. If you don't want to do that, and that's what we call Pookie adjacent, right? You adopt some of the things, because when I say Pookie adjacent, people immediately think, go snatch a purse or something. Nah, there are positive qualities of the guys that the black women like aesthetically and otherwise. These guys have confidence. They have charisma. They are mostly in shape. These are the things that a lot of the guys that these guys, they love Pookies. It's not the criminal component alone that's attracting these women. We got something that we call the dark triad. You've heard of this? The dark triad. And the dark triad, it outlines all of these things. This is science. This is study, right? If women, not even just black women, because even white women like the outlaw, the bad boy, and but their bad boy means a little different. Their bad boy means a little different, more different things than our bad boy does, right? But it's the same concept. You take those elements that you can infuse into yourself and say, okay, I'm running with this. If you can't do that, if you don't want to do that, okay, cool. You can't develop swag. You can't develop your physical appearance, maybe your style of dress and things of that nature. You don't want to do that. Mind you, these are choices you're making that you're saying you don't want to do. By the way, if you don't want to do that, and everybody watching this or hearing me talk knows which transgression they're guilty of. Okay? If you're a big boy, you're a big boy. Stop being a big boy. They sell gym memberships everywhere. They sell sugar-free this and diet that. And if you decide you want to stay a big boy, that is your decision. Nobody owes it to you to give you a relationship or feel sorry for you or pity you or none of that. Just like these big girls like Lizzo, we say, yo, we like them fit, feminine, and friendly. That's Kevin Samuels, right? The same rules apply to you. And you got guys in the space that tell these guys, it doesn't matter how you look. And if you look at how they look, we understand why they would say that. Okay.
Hey, wait, hold on. So now you getting into a sticky situation where how do you tell the men what they want to hear, which is focus on the woman, while at the same time, if you're really a guy who's looking out for the best interests of young
Right.
men,
Understood.
you tell them what they don't want to hear. Right now you're in this interesting pickle because how do you stick around in a space that is catering to guys who just want to be told what they want to hear in favor of the women? It's only them. So, and I'm saying this because this is what I quickly realized, or over some time realized, oh, guys they really are on take me as I am. So talking about the whole fitness lane, the skills resource lane, or to your point, adapt some of the qualities. Well,
now, right.
So some guys are more like, well, yeah, what I'll do is I won't do the harder thing, the fitness thing. I got a degree in tech already, but I'm kind of fat. I'm kind of sloppy. So let me just grow my hair out. Chia Pet swag. This is my theory. AM1 trademark. Chia Pet swag. Let me just grow my hair so I look like a rapper or a ball player. Let me grow a big, burly, goofy beard so I look like Rick Ross. Let me look like some kind of hot boy entertainer guy because that's what the women like. So I just got to add that part in because that whole social engineering component is kind of lame. Like guys went that route. And I'm like, no, go the harder route for sure. Go hit them weights, especially, again, I'm on the older side of things, 48, coming up on 50, right? Like, I mean, I turned 40 at the end of the month, but closer to 50 than anything. And if I got anything like some OG stripes, one of the biggest things you can kick down is, bro, your fitness game got to be on point. Not even just for the sake of women, just so you're respected by other men. That's just a standard man quality.
Well, how about a greater quality of life?
Greater quality of life on every measurable level. And if it's a cold world or it's hard being black or we so oppressed, everything circles back to this fitness component. The fitness component overlaps into the mental health component, black male depression and this, that, and the third. As opposed to let me go sit at the feet of some so-called master teacher in his cult. That's not proper mental health. So it just stuff all ties together. And I'm taking it this way because this is what made me realize, oh, I got to back up off this because guys are really hurting other guys, younger, older, whatever, and pinning them into this cyclical position of just being weak and avoiding the topics that they really need to hear because they're going to lose their audience.
But bro, if they're gonna lose the audience, that means it's the audience. I told you this years ago. Listen to me. Listen to me. People get mad at the drug dealer because he's selling drugs, but he's selling drugs to people looking for drugs.
Supply and demand, for sure.
Right. So if he stops selling drugs, they're gonna go somewhere else to look for drugs. And this is what I told you years ago. I say, yo, bro, we are looking at the guys who are creating this content, right? It's like how black people like to blame the record labels for gangster rap. No, y'all wanted that, right? The NWA didn't get signed to a label. They created their own label and blew up selling you what you wanted to hear. So at some point, people got to take responsibility. If you're gonna lose the audience telling them what they don't want to hear, that means they don't want to hear it. So look, now I got to give credit to the guys that follow my channel. I've been holding guys accountable. There's history of it, documented video and audio history of me holding guys accountable on my channel. And these guys showed up to my channel every time I was on to hear not only Keisha content, because yeah, I did Keisha content, but to also hold them accountable for the things. Some of them wanted to hear it, some of them didn't, right? Some of them took it in stride, right? Some of them debated me on it, cool. But, you know, results is results. If you want to do something or you don't. If I give you content that you don't want to hear, you you tune out that day and you come back when I'm talking about something that you want to hear. If somebody's creating media, right? And this goes for World Star, this goes for CNN, it goes for Fox, it goes for anybody. And on a Monday, they give them this content and they get this many views. But then on the next day, they give them this content and the shit shoot up. Then the second day's content is what they're gonna move to. And it's not because of the media network, it's because of the audience. You're gonna give the audience what they want to hear. That's just how business works, right? So now when you say, well, I think that you're like, shout out to Obsidian. He said, I was reading an article of his. He said that most of us are using social media wrong. He's saying that social media is supposed to be used for business, not for the ways we're using it. I think that both things can exist. I think that this discussion that we're having in terms of, you know, black men's realities and things like that, for some of us, it's content in this business, and for the rest of us, it's real. Right? For us, it's a real thing. We got real issues, and we're trying to help people solve these issues. And for us, it's more dear to our hearts that some of these things get resolved or whatever the case may be, and we find solutions for people who want solutions. You got to remember, a lot of people don't want solutions. They just want, like you said, to sit around and bitch, moan, and complain, and they cope, and then they go back to their lives until they can come back and sit in a circle of, you know, people talking shit about it's the other person's fault, this and that and the other. Mind you, none of this that we're talking about takes away from the reality that, yeah, Keisha got issues, and a lot of those grievances with Keisha are valid. Okay. But at the same time, Keisha ain't the only game in town.
I would argue. I mean, Keisha is not the only game in town. And you talked about it before, and I was never opposed to this. Hey, go where you're loved, not just tolerated. I advocate for that. So that was always on my list of potential solutions. But start with be the best man you can be first, because whether
Right.
it's Keisha or Mei Ling or whatever, that's not guaranteed to you. So,
So right.
yeah.
So let me touch on one thing that I haven't touched on yet, because there's guys in here that are listening to me talk, and they're like, Marcus, you skipping something. One of my issues with detractors of not necessarily the black manosphere, but like red pill ideology in these conversations is, okay, so when we do come up with the solutions, we got dudes that are talk shit about the solutions. So you got passport bro movement. People had an issue with that. That's a solution. That's a solution. Passport bro is a solution. That's okay. They don't want us. We off this way. Dudes come up with solutions, and then niggas shit on the solutions, right? You say passport, bro, you got an issue with that. You know, if you date out of your race, then you hate your mama and you hate yourself and you hate this and you hate that. And I'm not saying that came from you, but this is what I'm talking about. Like, anytime black men want to look for a solution outside of the Keisha, people shit on it. So then that becomes an issue, right? So mind you, a lot of the things that people are saying about the space is valid, but a lot of things that space is saying about people and people's criticisms of the space is a two-way street. So yeah, you know, grandmaster teachers and all that shit, fuck all that. I'm not with no cult bullshit. That doesn't take away from the validity of the arguments and the validity of the ideologies. And I think that this persona, this character that we're talking about, is taking the space and the conversation away from solutions, away from like real things. That so in that same stream, it was said to black men that if you date outside of your race, you're gonna breed your people out and all this other nonsense. You know, when we know that genetics don't work that way. You can't breed out black people because you dating or marrying white or non-black women. And this is your pro-black manosphere leader saying that, telling black men, yeah, even though we talk about Keisha all day, that's who you need to procreate with. And I had a problem with that. I got a problem with that. You can't tell me that the water got piss in it and tell me to drink it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now, back to what you were saying, manosphere. Bigger than the Keisha discussion. Bigger than the Keisha discussion. Now you got an energy in the space. I mean, first of all, you know, it's too much trying to get white surrogates to solve black men's problems. I said some of their names earlier. One of them was Pearl Davis. That was embarrassing. But aside from that, you know, again, the space is now taking this kind of like you're hating on other black men. It's to the point where at this point, the black manosphere has become synonymous with incel culture, incel beliefs. You know, if you look like you're a guy that got your shit together, maybe you might be attracted to women. Maybe you might be charismatic. Maybe then they call you a pookie. Right? And also, you can't be in the club. If you ain't lame enough, you're not one of us. You can't be us if you ain't struggling, if you're not sharing our struggles. You can't be in this club. It's not about advocacy no more. It's not about, you know, improving the boys and all this, even though you got, again, Dr. T. Hassan Johnson, he speaks a lot about this stuff, right? But the general mood of the energy of the space has moved away from that advocacy, and it's more about who Keisha's dating and she's not dating this type of dude, and anybody who looks like this type of dude that she's dating can't be a creator in the space. They can't speak to us. They can't represent us. And I've heard those things expressed explicitly, not implicitly, in the space. I've heard content creators basically say, yo, it ain't for y'all. This is for us. The incels have taken over this shit. That's how I feel. And I think that what the black manosphere has become, not what it was meant to be, not what it was built on the principle of, but what it has become is a bunch of dudes that would be gynocrats, right? If Keisha accepted them. Real talk. We've always said, yo, a lot of these guys are one blowjob away from being blue pill. If these guys could find a Keisha that would have them, they would be the same gynocrat that they get on here yapping about. I think that a lot of these guys that are in the space aspire to have a black woman at any cost, deal with the nonsense, deal with the, you know, all the stress that they're saying that they would be dealing with. And there's a small select few guys that see it as I and you do.
Guys that don't want to hear the reality of it. They want to hear what they want to hear. They want to have it their way, while at the same time saying, take me as I am, but calling themselves men in some type of a manosphere that's supposed to be about uplifting black men. So what are we doing here? So it's this cyclical circle jerk culty kind of thing, where when the guys talk about real solutions and apply real logic, they don't really want to have that.
Right. So, you know, if you got a charismatic figure leading your situation and he's telling you, wait for the world to fall apart, wait for the zombie apocalypse and your woman to come back to you, or right, winter's coming, wait for it to snow, and wait for, you know, the what is it, the welfare benefits to get taken away. And I asked homie directly. Again, all of this shit is documented, bro. Ask homie directly. You don't think that's pathetic? Imagine calling your wife's boyfriend and asking him, "Can you please leave my wife alone so she can come back to me?" Can you please stop taking her out on fancy dates and dinners so she can come home to me? Can you, you know what I'm saying? Can you please ignore her? Stop calling my girl so she can love me again? So we can work it out? Because I got a family with kids. I need her to come back to me, bro. I just need you to just fall out of the picture so she could be with me. This is what your leader is telling you to do. Or just sit. The white man will fix it. The white woman will fix it, bro. Like, just stand back. This woman is here to save us. She's a tool. Yo, I want y'all to just imagine, right? You know that picture of Jesus where he's floating in the air and he got his hands out like this, right? He got his hands like this. He's like this. I want y'all to picture that painting with Pearl's face on it, right? Right? I want y'all to picture the Sistine Chapel with her reaching out and touching the other guy's finger. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That was y'all savior, bro. Me and Gigi crashed out over Pearl. No, dog. We crashed out. We crashed out. Y'all got mad when I roasted him off the internet. But y'all show up, super chat this old man and everything. And yo, bro, when I say that these dudes know that this dude be saying wild shit, they know. I'm not going to say names, but all of you who I've had conversations about this with and behind the scenes know, y'all think he's a nutcase. Y'all just won't say that shit out loud because y'all need to be part of this internet boys club that you still belong to and you still pay membership dues to your grand high exalted mystic ruler, leader of the Raccoon Lodge. It's a fact. So it's all good. I'm good with it, bro. I don't like you said, AM1 validation. I don't need this validation. I don't need the validation. And if again, you would have to look at the audience. If the audience is listening to this guy, and then the audience sees that, you know, a guy like me or a guy like you might point out obvious glaring things and they defend it and then they can't be saved. You got to let that be. You got to let that be, bro. And then me and you can have conversations about more productive shit for more productive people. At the end of the day, look, if a guy wants to sit up in a, you know, in a circle of guys and complain about, yo, these girls are this and this and this and this and this, and ain't nothing I could do about it. And again, I'm not saying any of these things are valid, but my thing is, at least meet the issue halfway before you complain. You can't be my 600-pound life having this conversation. It's not about you. You got your shit together. You got your money right, your fitness right, you're this right. Meet the issue halfway. And if you're still having an issue, now you're the guy I want to talk to. You're the guy I want to have a conversation with. You're the guy. And I'm going to tell you, go that way. Like you said, go where you're not tolerated, but appreciated, celebrated, etc. Because if you're on point, you'll be celebrated somewhere. But you got a lot of guys who are stuck here. And then you got a lot of guys who they're stuck here either because they're choosing to be stuck here mentally, like they believe in this idea that, I got to deal with a black woman, there's black love and black nationalism and pro-black and blah, 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 blah. And they have the option to go out, or they don't have the option to go out for lack of the things that I just outlined. They don't, you know. So just understand that the non-black women got preferences too. The non-black women got standards too. The non-black women got demands too. The non-black women are still women. They're still women at the end of the day. So don't think that you just gonna be like, oh, Keisha want too much. I'm gonna go to Becky and just slide. It don't work that way, bro. Trust me. Trust me. And to be honest, the standards for you might be higher over there. It's just that the things that would make you, like AM1 says, a man, right? Like you saying, I got my this together, that together, this and this and this, skills and resources actually mean more outside of the community for a guy like you than inside, where it's more about swag and charisma, and you know, the crease in my jeans is sharper than his, and my Jordans is clean, and that's what I'm saying. Outside of this culture, that what you're trying to sell to black women means more outside of the culture if you got your shit together. The swag homeboy shit works here. Mind you, it works out depending on the type of white girl. If you go on some cash me outside type chick, then okay, you're going to catch that. But I'm just saying, your shit got to be on point outside. You think these white boys ain't in the gym? They ain't got six packs? They ain't trying to bust their shoulders out and shit like that? You think that all these looks maxing videos on the internet, that's white boy shit? That ain't us. And AM1, I know you see this stuff. I know you see the looks maxing videos where dudes are doing this all day trying to get the jawline and fucking with the ridge of their eyebrows and all this weird shit. That's white boy shit. That means the white women are on it like, yo, you got to look like this. So just like the white man likes a certain type of black woman, the white woman likes a certain type of black man. You got to be Kevin Garnett out this motherfucker. You got to be that type. You got to have your shit together. I'm going to let you jump in here, bro.
You were spitting. I was just like, listen, this nigga spitting. This nigga spitting. And this is the perfect sort of segue, right? Because I've said this years ago, all roads lead back to fitness. And when I talk about fitness, I'm talking about physical fitness, mental health. Like, you got to be about that so you can be that guy, so you can be him. Before, I've said this for years also, my taglines, undefeated, skills and resources. Also, a man has to be a man before and after, with or without a woman. There's no way around that. So we got Enlightenment, who says that he stopped listening to me because he heard that I was simping with the skills and resources principle, because I was supposedly telling black incels to focus on skills and resources as a way to help them. You said if they had skills and resources, then maybe they would become a man that girls like, which is blue pill, not red pill. No. What I said is that you have to be a man with skills and resources to be a man and respected in the world, period. You have to do these things with or without a woman, before or after a woman. And then maybe you still don't get a woman because nobody owes you anything. I literally said these things for years. So you said yourself, you're subscribed to me. I'm saying this to enlighten truth. You had to have heard me say this. So I can go back to it. But first of all, you told me you unsub because of what you heard someone told you they said. So that's not really masculine either. So that was hearsay. You unsub for me based on hearsay, when you could have got it straight from me. You could hit me. You could have DM'd me. I'm just saying, like, I was simping because at no point do I ever say something is primarily done to get women. Getting women is easy, especially if you're that dude. Like, if you focus on skills and resources, that definitely betters your chances. If you focus on fitness, that definitely betters your chances.
Okay.
Nobody owes you anything anyway. So this is just core stuff you got to do to just really be a man anyway.
Can I speak to his comment? So I want to address what he's saying, and in reference to, again, like, I'm talking about back when, you know, in that time period, right? I think, again, we're black men. it's like I said a second ago. Skills and resources as an argument is not going to improve or solve black men's black woman problem. When you say skills and resources, and I'm gonna throw you some devil's advocate for my man right here. When you say skills and resources, basically what it sounds like to guys is, well, if you get your money up, these chicks will fuck with you. And basically your base, it sounds like be provisional, right? Now I do understand what you're saying in terms of skills and resources as a how can I say a self-improvement device, right? But you have to put it into that context. Sometimes the context you put it in is if you do this, then the women will do this. I'm being honest with you, bro.
No, I feel that, but I never said that.
Right?
So that's somebody else putting it in their own context.
No, but you don't make it clear. You have to separate. So when I say, and I make it clear, when I say, yo, build yourself up, build your lifestyle, and those, I'll make it clear like, yo, this is not for women. This is for you. Now, if guys are saying, yo, the women are doing this, and then you respond skills and resources, it sounds like that's your answer to what they're saying. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I see what you're saying. So
right
is this. I've had a few different taglines, one of which skills and resources for sure, because I came into this thing on invite from O'Shea. The first time I ever interacted in Black YouTube, Black Manosphere was O'Shea inviting me to talk about doing independent videography work in Oakland, where I'm from. So I came in talking about that my first couple of interviews. So I always was about skills and resources. I never had the issues with women that these dudes have. So my context always was bettering black men. It's me. I watch Black YouTube sort of devolve into everything is about women and we can get women. I was already coming at it from this enlightened position of nobody owes you anything anyway.
I get it.
Yeah.
But it's like, think about it this way, bro. I think that, and I'm going to say this, I'm uncut as usual. I don't think anybody in the space looks at me, and this is actually one of the downfalls that I've had here as a guy who's like have their struggle issue, right? But understand this. If you're going to talk to guys, like you said, well, I don't have these issues with women that these guys have. You got to kind of put yourself in the shoes of the guy with the issue. If you're going to talk to guys with the issue, you can't talk from your pedestal. Listen, hear me out. If look, niggas see me with women. This is something that is not like new. Like it's on the channel. I'm slapping ass cheeks and shit like that on the Keep It 100 channel. People see me with women. They see pictures of me. A lot of these guys on Facebook. It's apparent, right? But if I'm going to have an audience where we're discussing women, I can't come from it 100% from a position of, well, I don't have you guys issue. I don't know what's the matter with y'all, right? What I'm saying to you is, it's like saying to somebody like, yo, I got $1 million. Like, y'all niggas is broke. What y'all doing wrong? You gotta, if you want to understand and you want these guys to see you as someone who is, I guess, sympathetic or empathetic to what they're dealing with, then you got to see it from that point of view. You kind of got to step out of your reality for a second and try to understand their reality with the females and see what the real issue is. Now, I have criticisms of men also, but at the same time, what I aim to do is, again, they can look at me and say, yo, this guy looks like he knows what he's talking about. Hopefully, that's what I'm thinking. This guy knows what he's talking about. He looks like he knows what he's talking about. Let's listen to some of the stuff he's saying. The people who don't want to listen don't want to be helped. I'm not here for the people that don't want to be helped, right? I'm not here for them. I'm here for, pardon me. I'm here for the guys who want to listen, who want to do the things that me and you are saying. They're not always necessarily connected to the female argument. They all, like at the end of the day, for your confidence, for your charisma, for all of those things, you got to be able to look in the mirror and like what you're looking at, right? That's what I tell these guys. It applies to some, it doesn't apply to everybody, but I don't want to talk smug to these guys. I don't want to talk to them as if I'm saying skills and resources, it almost as if I'm implying outright these niggas are broke. And that's their woman problem. Right? That, oh, y'all niggas ain't got y'all skills and it sounds dismissive. If these dudes is talking about, yo, the women are like this, right? And you're like, well, you know, y'all niggas need to build y'all skills and resources. You're kind of implying that they don't have any skills and resources, therefore they have a woman problem. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Part of it is I think I see exactly what you're saying. And I'm taking note of what you're saying. Part of it too is I respectfully, I don't know if you know my timeline on how much I interacted with this to sort of watch it go from more of my interactions with like Black YouTube to more Black Manosphere, and then it go more Keisha. I've had all these discussions about the Black women issues, all the topics, all the issues with women, non-Black women, all that. I've had those. I totally understand. I've talked about all of those things literally for years on panels, on my own channel with guys one-on-one offline for years. And what I've come to understand is ultimately a lot of these guys only want to hear what they want to hear. They don't want to change anything. Take me as I am. Now, I'm all for helping guys out, but I also do have a petty side as well. Absolutely. So at a certain point of hearing dudes say they want results,
right,
but they don't want to make any changes, the petty side of me starts coming out, and I'm like, oh, y'all some bitch ass little niggas then. So I still summarized it down to something as simple as, look, you have to be a man with or without, before or after women. And the landscape being what it is, focus on your skills and resources, because at the very least, if you do want to be a passport bro, get your game up. I've heard dudes make the complaint, well, the women in my area don't like me. Oh, so then go out of your area. Well, I can't because I'm only working this job that only pays me this much. Cool. Now we're back to a financial issue. You want to go, you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm just whittling it down to a simple formula and a simple catchphrase.
It's not simple.
Skills and resources.
I get it, but this is the thing. Two things can be true at the same time. Okay. I'm not saying
how does that have to do with how your words are perceived? So that gets into the whole thing of like, that's like how females think.
No, bro. No, listen.
Why did you say it in a mean way?
He's correct. He's actually correct. Hear me out.
Not how I'm saying it, not what I actually said, but how it makes me feel.
Right. But if you want to communicate to guys,
that's exactly why I just
look, fam, we got Mike. We got
fell back. That's why I was like, I'm out.
Listen, there's things that I tell the guys that they don't want to hear, right? And there's guys that'll fight me, try to come at me for those things. And some of those things that you're saying are the things that I'm saying, right? What I try to do is off rip, I'm trying to get them to get it, right? I think that I speak to the everyday guy in a way that they can understand, right? I don't try to talk from a position of, I'm not saying this is necessarily you, but I'm saying is I try to talk to them from a position of not like we on the same level, not that I'm above them. And Spawn 187 is absolutely correct. You can't have women without money problems. I think that one should want to have skills and resources. One should want to improve themselves, at whatever level. Like, again, we're fitness guys, and this is supposed to be, we ain't even talk about fitness yet. But what I'm saying is, and I'm saying this not just to you, but the guys in the stream, that should be a prerequisite. So I'm not opposed to nothing you're saying, but how you
dance around these guys' feelings.
No.
That's not me though. But go ahead,
bro. But if you don't, how you articulate this is important.
I agree.
If you hold on, listen to me. If you're gonna decide, because you make the decision to turn a camera and a mic on to talk to a group of people. It'd be a waste of time for you to do that in a manner that it defeats the purpose of you turning the mic and camera on.
Trust me, bro.
If you just hold on, if you just gonna say it like, oh, I don't care how y'all niggas feel about it, this is what I'm saying, then you're doing it more for yourself than the audience.
Yeah. Or people that get it, or people that do relate. So it becomes,
people, no,
I'm an acquired taste. That's all it is. And
so what I'm listen, what I'm saying to you is, it's one thing to speak the way you speak. I do the same thing, right? If people don't get it, you adjust the message so that they get it. You do that for your friends. No, hear me out. You do that for your friends. If your man is like, yo, I don't understand where you coming from, AM1, you say, all right, let me rephrase that. After you do it 2 or 3 times, then whoever get it, and whoever don't get it, fuck them. Trust me, right? But if you are a speaker, if you are talking to the public, talking to, an audience, it defeats the purpose not to speak to them in a manner that serves the purpose of your message. To the extent that you make an attempt to get that message across, and whoever doesn't receive it, then it's not for them.
And wait, repeat this. To add to what you just said there, look what Mike just said.
He said panel discussions with Keisha, et cetera, does not address what Marcus asked. Do you understand how your words are being perceived by the audience, by your critics?
That's essentially what you're saying, right? Because I got I got a retort for that, but I'm just trying to tie that together.
I'm trying to figure out what part of that is addressed. He said it does not address what Marcus asked. He said, do you understand how your words are being perceived by the audience or by your critics? So yeah, that part of it, those two things are separate. Panel discussions with Keisha is definitely in the SBE category. We're not talking about that right now. Right now, we're talking about, like you saying that you're responding to homie in the chat saying that he thought you were simping by going to, whether it's skills and resources or whatever the case may be. And I'm trying to explain to you how that might be interpreted, like, because if I use the term non sequitur, you make skills and resources, as a rebuttal to following up to Keisha issue, right?
No, I
made it clear.
You said it earlier though,
right?
Here's the thing: you said the ultimate phrase. My position has always just been about self-improvement. Before the Keisha issue became the primary issue for a lot of people. That's all I'm saying. Yeah,
but you have to put semicolon instead of comma, bro. And let me explain to you what that means.
And take into account that I did have this discussion and broke it down in so many granular ways for years before I bothered to just say it as a simple tagline. So that part has to be understood as well.
So
but some guys don't want to hear it, no matter how you break it down. That's my overall point.
I agree with you, and I said for those guys, let them go.
And so that's exactly why I pivoted from the whole manosphere.
Right,
similar to yourself,
bro. You're talking to a guy that's pivoted. So what I'm saying to you is, right. But my reasons are that plus more. The thing is, yeah, you speak to the guys that are willing to hear you, that are willing to adjust them, they take the message, but you at least attempt, right? You make the attempt to make it more palatable for the audience to the extent that you feel, yo, I've done enough clarifying, I'm gonna keep it moving.
That's literally what I arrived at. So
if that's the case, that's fine. But it's the internet. Not everybody is hearing us at every point and every level. And the people who don't want to accept that, they won't accept that. But I'm just telling you, in the streams and in the conversations that I've heard the skills and resources thing mentioned, I'm not opposed to skills and resources. I'm just saying that in the context of the relationship between Black women, which is often when that comes up, I hardly hear I'm not saying never, but I hardly hear skills and resources brought up independent of it following a conversation about Black women.
No, because that was the thing. You haven't, at the time, I'm not sure if I just wasn't aware of you, but for literally for years, I had these varying discussions about the women thing, about the issues with, finances, economics, whatever. Younger guys of different age groups, different demographics having different issues. Obviously, there's a common thread of how to interact with women. I've had that discussion, but what I try to tell guys on some, hey, I'm a little bit older than you. I'm doing, independent business kind of stuff. Guys saying, hey, I like that. I'm interested in that as well. Well, focus on something that's going to give you more freedom to be able to have more options, to be able to execute more options. But then we get into, well, I don't want to do this or that. Okay, so now to the point you made earlier, what guys say they don't want to do. At a certain point, it gets to where I'm like, oh, a lot of these guys behave and think exactly like the women that they have
Right.
issues with.
You ain't gonna get
And,
an
and
argument.
no matter how much logic, however you spin
Right.
it, they're never gonna care because they just want to hear what they want to hear. So they will do exactly what the women do. Like we got guys in the comments right now, respectfully, they want to flip it and make it be about the communication more so than the actual topic of what's being relayed, what's being conveyed. They don't want to hear it anyway. Now,
So,
it's one thing within
right.
the context of one stream, but I've literally talked about these things for years. Enlightenment just asked me, he said, AM1, do you believe you were simping or no? Well, I've already addressed in the comments and said some of my key principles with this whole online talk to Black men thing are simple concepts like you have to be a man before or after, with or without a woman. That statement alone lets you know I'm not simping in any kind of way. Then there's the skills and resources factor. Now, this is coming from the idea of you're a young man coming of age into manhood. You have to be a man before or after, with or without a woman. And then a man is respected as a man who attains and achieves and seeks skills and resources. That's all before dealing with a woman.
Okay, so then when you deal with a woman, what then? That's the part you kind of skipping over.
At that point, you can't control them. You can't make them do anything. That's when you realize that. So that at that point, that's when you're like, have your options up to where if you want to go do passport bro, okay, cool. Good luck talking about passport bro shit if you broke.
No,
at least have those real options.
I understand that, but
and I'm saying this because I've talked to guys who have talked about all these different things, but then they talk about they down bad on their money.
I get it, but you ever see that meme, right, where the person is going up the steps, right? So they got one foot on one step, and then the other foot is like 2 steps past, a couple steps. They skipping a couple steps. They take this large step above, and it'll be something referenced on the first step, and then they'll skip over past 2 steps. And I think people know what the meme I'm talking about. The reason why I bring that up is because they say Keisha issue. You say skills and resources.
Personal issue. Focus on your
No. I hear you. But what I'm saying is you're skipping some steps. You're saying, hear me out. Focus on yourself, right? Okay. Again, you're implying in some cases, not in all cases, because a lot of these cases do need to focus on those things, right? But to the guys who are already there, you're telling them also, no, hear me out. I'm trying to get something out of you. To the guys who got skills and resources, they making good money, but they still have their Keisha issue. When you say skills and resources, 2 things you're doing. You're implying that they don't have that together, and you're also not solving. You're the guy with the mic and the camera. You're not telling them Keisha issue, right? So if you're saying, okay, let's talk about these things, when do you address Keisha? And that's the hold on. And that's the issue that people, like, if they're going to call you simp, like how they call Ace Metaphor, Derek Jackson, and any of these guys a simp, you address the male side. When do you say, well, this is my opinion of the female side of the issue. You got your thing together, this, that, and the other. What now? Like you say, your solutions based. What do you tell the guys that still want a Black woman that they now have their skills and resources.
First of all,
do you repeat skills and resources?
I'm not putting skills and resources in the context of this is how you get women. I'm just
Understood.
saying that's the baseline fundamental shit. The vast, to your point,
you got to answer the question.
The vast majority of these guys that I've been interacting with, maybe not you, but that I've interacted with in these online spaces and in the real world, they don't have the skills and resources. And when I say skills, I mean like people skills, networking, all that, because that's a big part of what has made my career thrive. So it's not even just the money. And it is definitely not about women first. So if somebody says they have Keisha issues, one of my first things is, do you actually have to be with Keisha? Because like I said, I'm always of the ilk that you don't have to make that choice. So if somebody says, well, I absolutely have to be with a black woman, I'll be like, well, that's your choice then. What else are we talking about? At least be fit and have your paper up, even if that's the case, because you just made it even harder for yourself.
But we're not
in hard mode then.
Oh, no, I agree with you. But then we are still not addressing the issue. So understand, you again.
So talking circles about how women that don't.
No, I'm not saying that's the answer. I'm asking you because right now we're talking about how you were perceived in the discussion. So if okay, so let me give you an example, right? If someone comes to me, skills and resources intact, social skills and all those things that you name, not just money, just like you said, right? I'm not like if they're telling me this is what it is, and you know, after you talk to somebody enough, and a lot of these guys in the chat I've interacted with, they know who they are. A lot of these guys in the chat, we done had conversations. I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of dudes in this space, one-on-one, in groups, whatever. You guys know who you are in this chat, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, well, what's your particular situation where it's like, okay, you got an issue with Keisha. You work here, you make this amount of money, you drive this, you dress like this, whatever. If that guy is having issues with Keisha and every guy like him is having issues with Keisha, then we have to use deductive reasoning to say that it's not the skills and resources. Sure. It's a Keisha issue. So hold on. Then we have to examine Keisha. And too often the conversation doesn't go there where we say, you know what? See, guys like us, we talking about Keisha. So that's when I get on the stream and I say what you just said. Yo, if you got your shit together and everything else, like I said, meet the issue in the middle and Keisha's still not rocking with you, then maybe you need to bust a left, right? Because Keisha this, Keisha that. So then I'm trying to tell these guys that got their skills and resources that are having hard times with Keisha, I'm showing them why Keisha is a bad choice for them. And guys outside the space view this as Keisha bashing. I'm like, yo, you might be too good for Keisha. Keisha might not be the girl for you. And I'm showing you, like, when me or Dr. Thunder or whoever, we might do streams showing, yo, look at what Keisha's doing. Yo, look at what Keisha will do if you get married. Look at how your kids will turn out. Look at this. Look at the chances on this and this and this. And we're busting this down. It's not just about bashing Keisha. It's about telling those guys who can't get off the plantation, so to speak, or cut the umbilical cord, yo, bro, you don't belong here. If you're not being appreciated here, you don't believe me just telling you. We're showing you the reasons why you should bust that left. So again, guys outside of the things about, oh, y'all just talk about women. No, I'm trying to tell the guys that are still stuck on these black women why they shouldn't be. There's a space for that conversation, bro.
I agree with I totally agree with that point. I don't agree with making cyclical content over and over about it, unless you're getting some validation or a little bit of money, which I'm not even gonna hate on that. But I mean, now we're back to square one with dudes that just want to hear what they want to hear.
No, but just understand that there's a cyclical discussion also about skills and resources. All of it is
that's
cyclical.
the only discussion that to be a man, you got to be focused on that forever.
Right.
So, yes,
but
cyclical.
It's still, if you have to say it over and over again,
the sun is going to come up tomorrow.
How about,
cyclical.
How about this?
Resources got to keep coming.
Right, but it all got to keep coming, not just the part you like.
Not the choice where you say, "I need a black woman no matter what," and cry about it over and over for years.
What I'm saying is, no, we ain't talking about just that part of it with the people that are listening, but even us having the discussion with these people. We're going, if you can agree that is cyclical for guys to have a content channel talking about why one shouldn't mess with Keisha, is also cyclical to tell these same guys, get your skills and resources up repeatedly. Yeah. Both things, I said this to you years ago, both things are cyclical, right? Yes. So then that's why
you actually have to do though.
No, but you have to do.
One of them is about actual survival in life, in sustaining a life forever. Yes.
You don't have to have
a choice. One of them is a choice. You don't have to keep dealing with the same women that's giving you a headache.
I'm sure these guys are surviving.
Come on, man.
I'll wait till you're done. I'm sure these guys are surviving just fine, right?
I'm without having thrive.
No. Hear me out. I mean, thrive is a different word. Surviving is one thing. Thriving is something else. It's not the same thing. What I'm saying to you is, it'd be nice if everybody could thrive, right? Everybody ain't going to thrive, but at the end of the day, there's a level of thriving that one must be manifesting to attract some of these women, right? So at the end of the day, both conversations are important. But because it's like, what do you tell guys once they get their skills and resources? Once you get your, it's like Kevin. Hold on. It's like, not understood. It's like Kevin Samuels will tell dudes, be a high quality, high value man. Okay, after you achieve your high value, then what? And nobody wants to touch that. Nobody wants to touch
that. I've touched it for years.
So what I'm saying is, for some of these guys, it's a no-brainer. They say, yo, I'm gonna go over here, deal with these sorts of women, or maybe their situations change. Like we say, maybe their situation was about skills and resources. They get their skills, they get their resources, and their results and their outcomes change. But for the men whose outcomes don't change because they exist, it's like us telling, hey, if you work hard enough and you bust your ass and you go to school and this and this and this, you'll get these outcomes. There's a select group of people that's not true for, right? It's true for a lot, but then you leave out the conversation, the people who do everything that they were told to do, and then they don't get the outcome they told they were going to get doing that thing that they told they're going to do. So what I'm saying is, you got to include those guys in the conversation. I don't disagree with nothing you're saying, bro. What I'm saying is, there's a select group of guys who we got to include in the conversation that got their shit together already, and they still chasing a certain type of woman because that's their type. Let's keep it real. Most black dudes growing up, their first love was a black chick. They're attracted to black women. It's not just as easy to pivot circumstantially as we think.
That's a feelings and choice issue. I agree with everything you just said. That's definitely my first preference for sure.
It is.
And, I totally get it. But as a man, I have a certain
I get triggered by that phrase, as a man. I get triggered by that.
Though. I'm saying this is a general thing with men, right? Where theoretically we're supposed to be more rational and logical.
No, but we know that's not true. So let's talk about human beings.
We're supposed to be. You don't think there's a difference between how men versus women are more rational or emotion reaction?
In our first video, I said on numerous occasions, I know we're supposed to be more rational, more logical. I don't know if you remember this phrase. I said it repeatedly during the original stream with us. I said men are supposed to be the more rational and logical sex, but men are hopeless romantics and they all this. If I'm gonna tell you, if men were the logical animals that we're allegedly supposed to be, we wouldn't be here, bro, having this discussion about
Okay, well,
waiting for the world to fall apart and winter's coming and all this other stuff. Listen, I'm
that's why
me,
I said supposed to, but
right?
no,
Me
you
and
make an excellent point. You're making a
me and
great point.
you. Look, listen. I talked to you for 5 seconds, and again, we have a mutual person.
Look at that comment right there. Sums up all this whole issue that we've been talking about. This is where I fast forwarded to.
What's going on,
It's either self improvement, or it's this because nobody owes you anything. That
Right,
shuts the whole game down.
But come on. So you think? Hold on. And then we talk about human beings, right? We talk about human beings, right? I'm with you and I'm with him. That's why I pivot. I'm like, yo, bro, my cape is hung up. I'm on the bigger and better things. Eloquently petty. If you ain't following it already, jump on it. What I'm saying to you, AM1, is how many, like, as a human nature, how many people are really gonna accept their place? Oh, I'm just a bitchless nigga, and okay. No, they're gonna find a bunch of other bitchless niggas like them to say, it's not me, it's something else. Right? So
they don't want to be logical and rational and honest about how life works.
Well, people are irrational and people are emotional. Men too.
Yeah. So when the emotions overpower the logic and observation about how the world works.
So socially, we impugn logic and reasoning on men and emotions on women. That's of
course, we all have logic. We all have emotions.
Right.
What I'm saying is applying it to the degree that you don't now become self-harming to yourself.
I get it.
And turn it into some kind of like mental health issue that then spirals into a physical health issue that spirals into even worse outcome in life.
I get it, bro.
I'm not getting my way, so I'm just going to throw a big adult tantrum because I expected something to be fair and someone to owe me something. I'm saying, no, it's the exact opposite of that. And I'm okay with that. I've embraced that.
All right. I get it.
So I'm nudging. I'm thinking as a man, I think that works for me, or as a human, whatever. But I'm a man talking to other men.
AM1, I think that you underestimate the amount of guys like this that exists in the population.
Oh no, I know. That's why again, this is why I pivoted. So
but so understand that those qualities present in a lot of guys, right? Now he's right. Present in a lot of guys, it gets to the point where, again, there's guys out there, they're gonna take the message and they're gonna rock with it. But especially now, like me and you are from a generation that's like kind of like different, bro, from a lot of these guys.
Kind of very different.
Right. So the culture has shifted, and culture kind of like produces. You got to understand also that a lot of these guys are operating over the internet and in the matrix. Like a lot of these guys don't face women face to face, approach women, meet women in real time and things of that nature. I think men and women understand that, like on the women's end, they go get their education and they degrees and shit like that. And men, they chase the job that's going to earn them the most money. And then they come to the middle like, okay, I got the job with all the money, right? And then the women got their degrees and they overweight, right? Now, the women ain't realizing we don't care about your degrees and your income and your achievements. That doesn't make you attractive to us. You need to lose some pounds. And what the men don't realize is you, with your job and your money, you set yourself up to be a benefactor. You set yourself up to be a trick. You're not doing the things, right? Like the woman that's in shape and she's the Instagram model can attract a man with money. The guy who, like we've been saying, is fit, has made himself desirable, gets the women. Now, it's good on top of that when you have built yourself up in the world, status-wise, money-wise, and those things where you can live a stable lifestyle, but that's not necessarily what attracts women. How do we know? Because niggas complain about women fucking with broke niggas all the time. So at one point, you can't complain about Pookie getting the woman you want, right? And not having all the money that you bust your ass in school and getting degrees and to get this high paying job. You got all this money, but you don't want to do what Pookie doing. Pookie ain't got your money, but he got the bitch you want. And then you got the space who's saying, well, fuck Pookie and fuck, you know, these chicks want Pookie and they got Pookie's kids and they want us to raise Pookie's kids. Again, Pookie is a guy that you can maybe learn from in one way or another. Again, you ain't got to sell crack. The first thing these guys go to this, I'm better than Pookie, morally superior. I don't sell crack. I don't wear my pants hanging. I'm not a criminal. But there's things that this guy is doing to attract these women that you're not. And it ain't about your paper.
I agree.
Just like with the chicks,
agree.
it ain't about their degrees. So when we talk about black culture, we're black men. We talking about black manosphere shit. We're black men, blackity black. We ain't talking about nothing outside of that. We understand how Keisha operates. We understand what turns her on, what turns her off. If you don't want to operate within the realm of that, if it's outside of your wheelhouse or you just refuse to do it, then nigga, you got to go elsewhere. And like you said, it doesn't help you to sit around in a circle and bitch about it to a faceless figure for years. But AM1, niggas are going to do that. And we got to leave them to do that. Because at one point, we can't save them. So then what we got to do? SYS, save yourself, nigga, from not only Keisha, but from them dudes who want to sit in a circle and bitch and moan and want to kill you and attack you for telling them that there's a different and better way to go about it. You coming with solutions. You come with, hey, you ain't got to smoke that crack. That motherfucker getting high. He love that high. He gonna kill you before he get off that crack. So don't like this is why you got to pivot at some point if you're not suffering from that thing that they otherwise you're in the pit with them. You're in the pit with them. I'm gonna sit here and moan and groan and mope. And I don't got this problem. I came in, I said what I had to say to niggas. There's a lot of cats that rocked with me in the space and they still rock with me now. And I rock with y'all. And for the people that had an issue and thought that I was coming at them, putting them down or whatever the case may be, listen, I'm over here. I'm right. So if you want to listen to me talk about hip hop and current events and things like that, that's cool. But at the end of the day, if you want to listen to, you know, the spooky guy talk about spooky shit, I'll leave you to that. And y'all can super chat him and he can, you know, live in Cali and rock his dashikis and shit. And like AM1 said, get your bag, right? Get the bag. But what I'm saying is, you know, there is truths on both sides of this thing. And, you know, there's not only what we're saying and how we're articulating it, and then there's that way it's being received or misinterpreted. And then there's the part, you know, of which woman you're choosing and how you coming at them. We know that worms catch fish, not ribeye steak. And also, if you're going to talk about, you know, what one must do to improve himself, it also has to align with the woman that you're, if we're talking in the context of women, which women you want, but in the context of, like AM1 said, just being, I don't like to use the term man, being an adult. I like to say adult, because if you're a grown person, you should have your shit together. And the reason why I say that as an adult is because it applies to women too. I don't want to absolve women from being adults and saying that they themselves shouldn't have skills and resources. Because when I meet you, I ain't trying to rescue your ass. I'm not the nigga to come to your rescue. I promise I'm not. You understand what I'm saying? So as an adult, as a grown person living in a first world nation, you should have your shit together. To some level. I'm not saying you got to be rich, 6 figures, high value, all that dumb shit, but you have to be self-sufficient. And if that ain't good enough for the women that you're seeking, you got to pivot in your choice of women. You might not like it, might not be your first choice, but you got to do it. Or, like Spawn say, stay bitchless. Stay bitchless. These women are not going to change for you. They're not going to change their preferences. They've made that clear. This stream, nor any other stream that the, Grand High, Exaltic, Mystic, Invisible Guy, none of that shit is going to change nothing. If winter comes, these bitches will get bubble gooses on y'all niggas. They gonna buy bubble gooses with the welfare money or the trick money or the OnlyFans money or the Biden money. They gonna get bubble gooses. Fuck you in your winter.
PPP loans.
PPP loans.
Wait, hold on.
Some strange.
We went over a lot of things here. We had to do this because, man, you got history and operating with this space. But we talked about, you see what I've, lost a lot of subscribers. Shout out to Tech G, G Dizzle. We talked about that. Like, all right, I take this channel that had like 4,500 subs and I'll pivot it. And I've sure enough watched this thing drop off by almost 1,000 subs as
today?
I got more. No, just over the past few years. As I kind of moved away from sort of like so-called manosphere topics. But in my mind, one of the ultimate manosphere topics should be fitness, health,
right?
Something that makes you a better man. So that proved my point even more. As you got into that, guys would be like, oh, no, you're not going to talk about ratchet black issues or a bunch of stuff about women that you're not even tripping off of. Okay, then I'm out. Okay, fine. And plus inconsistent, all that. I'm aware of my shortcomings with the channel, but my numbers have dropped off. But I was like, whatever. I'm not about to just tell people what they want to hear. Now, I mean, you was talking on Facebook, and obviously I saw you was still in the mix. You had just dropped the new channel. But you talked about, kind of having it up to here with some of the Black Manosphere stuff. Obviously, you've already been going down a fitness lane. I don't know for anybody in here if you've actually seen this guy. We haven't seen him met in person, but this dude is pretty built. This dude's ripped. Like, so clearly the fitness game has been there. Tell us about that, just real quick. We gotta do another one of these, but let's make it culminate in the fitness point.
So I will hope that now that we're going into that discussion, I hope that none of you dudes that's in the chat will drop off because this is important, pertinent shit. Okay, so don't prove AM1 right by becoming disinterested now that we're pivoting into the fitness discussion, because if you start dropping off and he starts seeing people dropping out of the chat, then it'll go right into like we said, like I say, like you done lost a bunch of subs. I say it's the audience. If the audience doesn't want to hear certain things, they're gonna tune out. And it's unfortunate that content creators feel this way, that they got to give you the bullshit, so that you stick around, right? So you put guys in, a lot, and then you say that they grifting. You kind of inducing the grift by limiting the amount of things that can be spoken about to Black men because you don't support the other stuff, right? So as far as fitness is concerned, man, I don't know, man. I've since I'm in high school, I've always wanted to like lift weights, this sort of thing. Like when I was in high school, I applied for weightlifting gym year after year after year, and I kept not getting it. They waited till my senior year because in my house I didn't have like weight bench, any of this stuff, right? So my cousin had a weight bench, and I went and did a little stuff over there. But when they put me in a weightlifting gym in high school, you couldn't get me out of there. It was the last class of the day I had, man. I'm on the rings. I'm I'm doing all type of stuff. I had this one guy that was in the class. I think he was like 200 plus pounds. We had a 600-pound rack. He stood on top of the rack, and I was doing leg presses with him standing on the rack, right? Just cause, like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, once I started doing that type of stuff, I got into that. I'm like, yo, I'm at home with this. You know what I mean? So at that point, I hadn't discovered the nutrition part of it yet. Right. So years passed. Then I remember the Atkins diet came out. Now I was working security in New York. I had gained some weight. And this is when, I was hard body running my business in New York, doing graphic design and stuff like that. Right. So got on that Atkins no carb thing, lost crazy weight. I turned like into skinny stick, right? Slim dude, right? So that's when I kind of started to discover the nutritional side, and I started to study those sorts of things, right? Now, me and you got a mutual friend, right? And our like on the on Instagram, I'm called the Fitness Nazi, and that was something we would call him. It was like, yo, you the Fitness Nazi. Because what happened was me and him, because he got into, like, once I got into the whole fitness and nutrition, he kind of kicked off with me. You know what I'm saying? He still gives me credit to this day for dragging him into this. And he's like, with it. This dude went and got certified, and I mean, this is not stuff that you don't know already. He went and got certified. He's doing stuff with Sean T and all this other stuff. So he went to the stratosphere with the fitness thing. But it really started off like me kind of pushing not just the fitness, but also the nutrition and, the elimination of sugar. Okay. A lot of us, man, a lot of us, especially black men, like, a lot of the ways that we grew up eating, like we say, oh, diabetes, it runs in the family and this and that. No, it's a lot of cultural things that we're used to, a lot of patterns that we follow, a lot of things that we were kind of groomed into that leads into this early sickness, early death, these early dietary disorders and things like that. And a lot of it has a lot to do with high salt and high sugar. And I promise you, if you either greatly reduce or you eliminate this stuff from your life, man, a lot of these things will go away. And I know that's easier said than done. So it's just like the conversation we were having just a second ago. I ain't got a fitness channel. And the reason why I don't got a fitness channel, I remember telling Ty, I said, yo, bro, when he went to get his certification, I said, yo, he was like, yo, let's get certified. I said, man, in the conversations that I had with dudes about fitness, it's like trying to get guys off drugs, right? When it comes to the way they eat, fast food and things like that. Like, I done clash with like real life friends over their diets. And like, we talk about going to work out, bro, but I'm going to tell you, and you already know this, diet is more important.
Right.
You'll get fit, never touching a barbell.
Right.
Changing your diet.
Facts.
Right? You can't work out like a bad diet. You can't outpace a bad diet, right? That's the hard part. It's easy to get dudes in the gym because they feel like they're doing something. But it's hard to get them to leave that stuff alone, man. It's very difficult. And you ain't even got to like swear off all this food forever. You just, it has to be less than 10% of what you're eating.
Percentage game. Exactly. I tell people that all the time, but even that's a tall ask for most people. Like, I can't have this, I don't know, at will. It's like, no.
Right. So bigger than like, cause people come to you, they might ask you, yo, what should I be eating? And what can I eat? And they know the answers to that already. Y'all know that chocolate ain't diet food. Y'all know that. Y'all know that cake. You can't lose weight on cake. You know this. You know brownies and cookies and all the good stuff, stuff we love, right? Stuff we love. You can't, bro, I can't tell you the last time I had like any baked goods. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm gonna tell you this, right? In my freezer right now, I got Entenmann's donuts, I got chocolate chip cookies and Girl Scout cookies, and all this stuff is in the freezer. And the reason it's in the freezer is because I can't touch it until the end of the summer. And the reason for that is, like, I sent you photos of, like, what the bodybuilders do. They do the water protocol and then the carbohydrates to get that veiny appearance. So, like, them pictures that I sent you, that you see the muscles with the vascularity and the dry look, and that comes from you overdose on the water, and then you stop drinking the water, and then you hit your body with the carbs. And when you hit your body with the carbs, you're eating this stuff. You're eating. Some people do sweet potatoes, but then other people hit the sweets. They hit the cookies and the donuts or whatever the case may be. You can't OD on it because then you'll be putting more water back into your system, and then you won't look as dry. But it's a balance, right? You understand? You already know how this works. But carbohydrates, is water. And you eliminate all the water out your body, and your muscles will be flat. And then when you hit them sweets, it'll go straight to that muscle and it'll suck that water right from under your skin. And that's how you do that. And if I didn't know better and I looked at my photos, I would have been like, this guy's on steroids. But that's how it's done. That's how you use sugar to get a certain aesthetic. But you can't be banging it out all year, right? Every day, all day with high sugar content. Either you can do protein and fat, or you do protein and carb. But you can't. I tell people this is the phrase that pays. Protein and carb will get you big, and I'm talking about muscular big. If you with some muscle, some resistance training. Protein and fats will slim you down, but carb and fat will get you fat. It got to be protein and another macro. Protein and another macro. And this is what I say. I say if you're an endomorph, right, it should be protein and fat. If you're an ectomorph, it should be protein and carb. So people got different
it's the body types.
Yeah, metabolism. Yeah. So if you're an ectomorph is a guy, you're a hard gainer, you're skinny, it's hard for you to gain muscle. You should be putting protein with carbs and lifting. If you a guy that's trying to, like, you a husky dude, you should be putting protein and fat. You don't want to do anything that's going to spike your blood, right? And that'll get rid of that fat for you. It sounds non-intuitive. You say protein and fat. You mean I should eat fat, Marcus?
Oh,
yeah. It's crazy, right? But yeah, that's how it's done, right? So protein and fat, you'll slim down. And you want to eat sugar with fat, you're gonna gain weight. And people will do this and they'll say, I'm bulking. Yeah, you're bulking fat. You're fat bulking. You ain't bulking muscle. Yo, muscle does not turn into fat, bro.
Right.
Let's get that out of here. And you can't spot reduce. You got people think, if I do 1,000,000 sit-ups, I'll get a six-pack. That's not how it works. So Geronimo says, what about mesomorph? Throw that over on the screen if you can. What about mesomorph? Mesomorph are the most blessed people on planet Earth. Guess what? I'm a mesomorph. Lucky me. I'm a mesomorph, but I lean endo slightly. So there's levels. You're not going to be a perfect meso. You're going to lean either endo or ecto. I lean endo, so I don't touch carbs. I don't touch sugar when I'm prepping. And I don't prep for no competition. I live in the heat. This is the West Coast, and you gotta dress light in the summer, and bitches can see you. And I've been to Venice Beach in those types of areas, man. Let me tell you, y'all Cali dudes, you a Cali dude. Yo, Cali do not play about fitness. I tell you the truth. Y'all do not play about fitness. New York, you got the fat dudes with the bubble gooses and this East Coast, and it's like, no, yo, T-bone steak, cheese, eggs, and Welch's great niggas. But on the West Coast, they do not play about fitness. They are about that beach. They are about that life, bro. I never forget, bro. I went to Hollywood. I'm on Hollywood and Vine. It's gonna sound like it's straight out of a movie. I'm on Hollywood and Vine. I just walk out the Starbucks. This black chick is walking a poodle or something. She's coming out of the W Hollywood right there. She got on a little sweat hoodie thing, but it's cut short. You can see her stomach and her abs is popping. And you see the V cut right there under the abs, right? She's walking a dog, right? I literally turn around and I see a dude running down the street. This dude looks like Usain Bolt. You can see every cut in his arm, right? Then I turn around. You ever see those memes where the guy turn around and there's a cut of this video? I turn around and it's a dude walking with his shirt thrown over his shoulder, and he's Rock Diesel. He's cut up. This is on Hollywood Boulevard. And when I say all of this happened in the same 5 minutes, I was like, wow, I thought I was in shape. If you think you in shape, go to LA. Go to LA, yo. If you think you in shape, go to LA. Go to Venice. Trust me. And that's where Cali, Muscle, and all them dudes hang out.
Yeah. You already know California, or at least Southern California, Venice Beach, all that Gold's Gym, World's Gym. That's like the bodybuilding mecca.
Right. That shit that's outside on the beach.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Muscle Beach.
That's where Arnold and them used to be at. They not playing over there. You think you in shape, go over there.
Let me ask you this, though. Let me ask you this.
What's up?
So, obviously, that kind of, man, I wish it was more like that in Northern California, because, I'm from the Bay.
Right.
Southern California is way different, especially now. Fast forward to these days, people make every excuse to be curvy or big or, body positivity. I want to bring you back for another stream. We're going to talk about some of that, too.
Right.
But just tying it back into the self-development, what's the word I'm looking for?
Self-improvement.
Yeah, it's the self-improvement piece. Is there a way you could describe like the level of importance, the amount of weight you will put on how important that is to really adopt a fitness-oriented, proper nutrition kind of lifestyle? How important do you think that is?
When you say put weight on, you mean like muscle?
No. I'm just saying, how important is that? Like, how do you quantify how important that is for everybody to do that? But I would argue, especially men.
I would say with the amount, especially black men, I would say that with the amount of work men do, we out there, we working, putting in hours and things like that. I mean, I understand that it's difficult. It's difficult to like dedicate X amount of hours to the gym if you work in 8-hour shift, 10-hour shift or more, right? If you put like 30 minutes a day into some sort of cardio, but it goes really back to diet, because I could say, do 30 minutes of this and this and this, and then you're eating whatever you're eating, or like some of you got like wives and shit. So like it's hard. Like I'm gonna tell you, in reality, it's hard. Like if let's say you're living with a woman that eats a certain way, and she's cooking dinner and you don't eat that dinner, you start getting on it like, I can't eat that, or I don't want to eat this and this and this. As a fitness guy yourself, like you get into conflicts with people over food. Like y'all want to go out to eat. Nah, I can't go there and eat. I can't go and eat. I've had that issue with people, right? So like it's just more difficult with that. I think but it's important. You got to be annoying about it. You know, like I'll be like, nah, I can't go here, I can't go there, I don't eat this, I don't. Oh man, you get all this people running your mouth, and not only that, because it is so called social issues. Nobody wants to be around you. They don't want to eat a hamburger in front of you. I don't know how often you run into that, but like people don't want to eat garbage in front of you. They don't want to drink soda in front of you. They don't want to drink alcohol in front of you. They start getting like self-conscious about what they're eating and drinking in front of you, right? Shout out to Tice, because you know he on it. So at the end of the day, it's like you gotta kind of like be like for your own selfish well-being. Like I don't care. Like you got to do what you got to do because your life depend on it, especially when you north of 35, approaching 40, and things of that nature. You in that target for all types of cancers, all types of liver problems. What's that shit? Yeah, what the not well, fatty liver, but then there's the organ that processes your sugar. Kidney issues. Your it'll come to me, but high levels of sugar. Diabetes.
Oh, like
gout,
pancreas. Yeah.
pancreas. That's what your pancreas. You're dealing with you're dealing with diabetes. You're dealing with gout and all of these other things. And it's not just about being like some fly, sexy guy. These are health things. It's cool to look a certain way and have a certain aesthetic, but like dudes are maintain their cars better than their bodies.
Right.
Like in like you'll put the rims on the whip and you'll replace the alternator and all this other stuff. You got newer parts under your hood. You only get one set of lungs, one liver, one. Now you can go get the transplant and all of that, but when you start going to trade organs, you got a problem. Now you got to take like pills so your body ain't rejecting the new thing that the doctor put in there. Right. You got to replace your organs. You get organ transplants, hip replacements, things of this nature. And it gets to the point where, somebody like us, we giving you more cause to hate us because, I'm gonna tell you, and yo, bro, as we get older, the dudes that are in shape become more rare.
Right.
It ain't even just about money. It's about, you are older and you physically fit, you're an anomaly.
Right.
So on one hand, he's talking about, skills and resources in the realm of, have your lifestyle up, your money up, this and third, but also because he says not just about money. You got to be able to keep up, right? You got to be able to move. Come on, man. You want to be the guy that the women is looking at. You want to be the guy that, like, it's not just a woman thing, but like a guy that appears to care about his appearance. It commands a certain level of respect. Exactly. In society. It's bigger than just, your homeboys and women in society. Now, of course, you get some hate, but you got to take that in stride. Either what they said in what it said in American Gangster. You could become unsuccessful. You could be successful. You could have enemies, or you could become unsuccessful and you could have friends. Right. It's a trade-off that you make. Now you ain't got to be super God, a statue of David, Michelangelo fit. You can, but you don't have to be that. But you at least want to have your vitals, your numbers ain't crazy, your blood sugar ain't crazy, your liver ain't about to give out on you, your pancreas, your all of those things. The guys are smoking and drinking and this and that. You know what I'm saying? You only be dead at 40. Right. 40 years old. There's a lot of dudes dying at 40.
That's crazy.
40 ain't nothing.
You made a good point, because think about this. But even taking it to the women thing, right? obviously appearance wise, so-called body game or whatever. But even
Body
within the
game, yes.
discussions of uh, who's going to be the leader, right? Like from a social thing, certain people don't want to be around you or don't want to eat in front of you. Well, it's like, well, look, first of all, if you know, in the discussion about a woman's going to follow the lead or whatever, I'm like, well, yeah, I'm going to lead my lady to the gym because that's a major level investment. And any lady that's going to be under my banner better be fit. So
Right.
as part of my leadership, so you're gonna see me moving like this, and you better be moving like this. Like that's just a prerequisite, right? And any woman opposed to that, clearly she's not a keeper. So just to throw that out there, what do you think about that?
Yeah, let's talk about body game for a second, right? Because I heard you mention body game,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You know, yeah, you get more leverage to then dictate what kind of woman is going to be with you, right? Other than that, body game, right? A lot of the guys that are listening to these videos and watching these videos, I ain't going to point to a percentage, but a lot of these guys are like Gen X guys, whether they late Gen X, early Gen X is whatever. But a lot of these are Gen X guys if they're not millennials, right? As you approach your late 30s, early 40s, you want to look like Uncle somebody. You want to look like the old dude, right? No, you don't. As much as we talk about the women and their fitness and guys are telling you in these
Oh,
spaces, like, yo, it doesn't matter what you look like, bro. Like, I see a lot of dudes talking about, dealing with younger chicks, right? They talk about dealing with younger chicks. Oh, you old bitches is mad. We dealing with the younger chicks. You think the younger chicks are into the dad bod? Nah, they not. They listen. I don't like. They interview these girls and they like, yeah, we prefer the dad bod. No, you know who prefers the dad bod? Chicks that are looking for security, provision, and things like that. Dad, who provides? Dad provides. Dad is the patriarch,
sugar daddy.
right? Sugar daddy. You don't want to be sugar daddy. You don't want to be uncle somebody. You don't want to be that. You want to be like, ooh. You want to get that response. You don't want to be like Chris Rock said, like he sure look like he could pay some bills. I bet you I could get him to pay my car note. You want to be that guy? You think women don't place niggas in categories like y'all place girls in categories? These dudes will say, yo, if a girl's wearing a short skirt, she's dressed like a 304. I'll put her in the 304 category. Okay. And I'm with you. Right? But girls will place you in a category. There's the guys that they would date and marry and all of that stuff because they're looking for provisional dudes, safe dudes. Dudes is going to keep me living this way. And if I ask him for this, he's going to give it to me because look at me and look at him. And he looks like that guy that goes to work. He got a button-up shirt. He look like an English teacher and that type of thing. But then you got the guys that look like the guy they going to cheat on that guy with. This is how I talk, bro. This is how I do it. This is how I do it. They gonna be with you, and they're gonna sneak off to be with that guy. The guy that look like the personal trainer or the beach guy, or the lifeguard, or this and this and this. And your wife will make it home right on time, right after work, and you'd never know it. Which guy would you rather be? It's your choice. And for the guys who choose to be Uncle somebody, hey, look, I'm not mad if you choose to be Uncle somebody, but you got to accept that. You got to own that and decide, hey, look, I decided to be an uncle. I don't want to be dudes be like, hey, what up, Unc? They call me Unc because I'm in the Unc age. But I'll fuck your girl, nigga. I'll fuck your girl. Don't get it twisted.
And that Unc title is different when you got a certain kind of build at a certain age. That Unc thing is like, yeah, that don't mean the same thing to every Unc ain't the same. All Uncs ain't created equally, apparently.
They be looking, bro. They be looking, bro. them young chicks, them, and then it'd be dudes that are younger that'd be like, you guys are predators. I could see that coming, or guys our age saying you should date your age. No. 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 You want to look, listen, you can now have a young dude physique, and now you got the money. That's what they say, that the dudes they go once they get up in age, they get the money, yeah, but then you lose the aesthetic.
Imagine when you got the complete package, pause.
Right. You got the right, you got the body and you got the success.
Whole other levels. That's a whole other level of the game.
Now you got the money. Now you fucking all the girls you weren't fucking in your 20s, in your 40s. Who don't want to do that? I want to do that. Y'all don't want to do that? You want to fuck the 40 and the 50-year-old women? I did that in my 20s. I'm not lying to you. I did that in my 20s. But I was fucking the older chicks that kept their shit right. What do you think a cougar is? A cougar is an old chick that just Nicole Murphy. I'ma fuck Nicole Murphy because she an older chick. And she bad? And she look, the older chicks when you in your 20s, bro, they trick on you. I did all of that in my 20s, bro. I swear to God, I did all that. I had chick, car note, insurance. Yeah, right. This is the things that
I've been trying to tell. That's why all the stuff I've been saying to guys for years has been based on coming from that, but trying to keep it cool because, hey, it's not going to quite work like that for every guy. So I won't get too crazy with that. But if you do some of these things and don't be sweating certain shit, your chances are going to be way higher.
Yeah.
But you're sipping. I've heard guys outright say, I'm not hitting the gym to get a woman. I'm like, you put the cart before the horse. You hit the gym because it makes you a better man, and that betters your chances. But anyway,
right. Nah, I'm with you on that. No, zero pushback on that. Look, it's an ego thing. I live with me. I gotta see me. I gotta do this every day in the mirror. Look at me. If I'm looking at me, and I'm gonna tell you, AM1, sometimes what I'm saying ain't enough for a lot of guys. I gotta look at me and be like, I like what I see. Some people might say that's narcissistic. Call it what you want. Call it what you want. What you can't argue with is the results and the outcomes. You can't argue with that. You can feel how you want to feel about it. Be mad, hate, and everything. Even feel like I'm judging you enough, but I'm not. All we trying to do, in the best way we can explain it and articulate it, is help you be better. And then we're showing you examples. You can't be on us like we're stunting on you, because that's what we call what they call us. What's this? Flex bro. I've been called a flex bro, right? So you call us flex bros because we're showing you that it can be done. So you can't have it both ways. If I'm going to be the guy to tell you how to do something, I also have to show you the results. If I don't show you the results, then you don't believe me. Then who am I to speak on it if I don't? Like a lot of guys say, well, you're not married. Why are you talking about marriage? You're not married. Well, if I'm in the gym, then I can talk about the gym. And then you get mad that I look like I'm in the gym.
Right.
That shit don't make sense to me. It's like, yo, just say you don't want to hear the message.
Yeah, that's some cope shit. That's a coping mechanism.
Right. Right. So at the end of the day, listen, if you already banging out chicks and you healthy and your numbers, we're not talking to you. You're just here to enjoy and be entertained by the reckless manner in which we're speaking. What I'm saying is, for the guys who need to hear this, it ain't a put down, it ain't a criticism, it ain't none of that. But it's too many of us. And mind you, let me first point out that Black men are the leanest men in America following Asians. That's a fact. That's a fact. We're the leanest men in America behind Asians as a collective. So we are athletic. But what I'm saying about, like, as we approach these older ages, because there's more young guys in the group than younger guys, and those younger guys, than older guys, and those younger guys are representing the majority of the fit population. But what I'm saying to the older guys north of 35, hitting 40s, in their 40s and older, change your diet, change all this stuff. Again, one stream ain't gonna make you do it, but some people that, bro, they're gonna eat themselves to death. That's a reality, and we could talk about how logical and rational somebody should be. But they're looking at their numbers, they're looking at their health, and they don't change. And I've seen it happen time and time again. This is something me and Naomi have talked about on dozens of occasions. We've watched several of our people disappear off the face of this earth from that, and it gets to a point where that is a habit, it's an addiction, and things like that, and you can't get people off. But for those who want to pivot and switch, it's a different kind of life on this side, bro. It's a different kind of life. You get looked at different, you get treated different, you get talked to different. I don't care where you at, the supermarket, the gas station. I got chicks giving me free shit. Nah, you good. You good. Take that. You good. It's a different kind of life on this side, bro. And you can do it. I just think the guys have to be patient. I'm going to tell you the truth. A lot of what happens with a lot of guys, bro, and you already know this, they go to the gym, they change their diet, and they don't see an immediate change, and they get discouraged. And then they fall back into eating how they was eating. Or they might eat one bad meal and they figure, I ate a donut. Fuck it. Got to keep it up, man. And then, once you start seeing that shit, you start seeing the difference, and you start seeing the difference in how people are treating you. I understand, guys make a lot of moral arguments, and I'm not a fan of moral arguments, man. Just understand, the world is superficial. The world is superficial. You're going to be judged on some stupid shit. You're going to be judged. If y'all are cool with being judged by how much money y'all got, why y'all not cool with being judged on your physical appearance? You know what I'm saying? Women cool with being judged on physical appearance, even though they pretend not to. They come in with the shortest skirt, legs out, and the whole shit. It's cool when the reception is positive, right? But when it's negative, it's a problem. You don't want to be judged on your physical appearance, but if you got your money right, then you want chicks to treat you like the guy with the money because it's positives associated. Right? You don't want to be judged when there's a negative, when you're on the bad side of the judgment. But it's a choice you can make. There's certain things that we're stuck with, bro. It's inherent, intrinsic, and there's certain things that we can choose our way out of, and this is one of those things. And I ain't here to listen to nobody cry about the outcomes of their choices. I don't care if you're a man, woman, an alien. I don't care. I don't care who you are. I don't want to hear you cry. Oh, what they say about not getting the results from the work you didn't do.
Right. Straight gems.
Period. So, and that applies to everything. Chicks with their degrees, but they don't want to go to the gym. Niggas with a high-paying six-figure salary, but they don't want to get in the gym. You can't be treated like the sexy person because of external shit and then be mad. Oh, you just using me. You just using me. Don't you want to be used? I don't think it's a nigga in here don't want to be used for sex. She used me for sex, AM1. She ain't
Right.
love me.
Right. I don't
She
think
just
I.
called me on Friday to come knock it down, and then I don't hear from her all week. Said nobody
Hey,
ever.
never heard that.
Said nobody ever.
Right.
She just use me. I'm just a sexual object.
That's what it is. We got Marcus give me 100 giving you some of the cheat codes. We got to keep this going. We had to go back and touch on some of the manosphere type stuff because we got history
Right.
with that. I want to have you back for some more stuff. I want to make this too long.
Right.
Took up too much of your day. But I'm about to drop this though. Y'all hit up Eloquently Petty though. Let the folks know kind of how you gonna rock that channel out. What you gonna be doing with that?
Eloquently Petty ain't got nothing to do with none of this. Is Eloquently Petty. I'm going for the larger audience. Again, like Obsidian said, social media is a business. I'm on Eloquently Petty. We're gonna be talking about music. We're gonna be talking about I'm on my O'Shea Duke Jackson celebrity jump type shit. Like we're gonna be talking about like anything that I feel like the people want to hear about, my opinions on whoever album dropped. It's gonna be a lot of hip hop, it's gonna be celebrity news, whatever's in the news, might touch on some politics, things of that nature. My cape is hung in the ceiling. Nobody like the Keep It 100 channel came with it and did what it was meant to do. And now it's time to pivot. If y'all want to hear some talking points like that, here and there, I might like I got a chick that's gonna be coming and having these different discussions with me. We're gonna be reacting to some stuff, and we're gonna have some interesting conversations. There's a girl out here in Vegas, but aside from that, I'm looking for a broader audience. You understand what I'm saying? I'm looking for a broader audience. A lot of y'all rock with me and my personality already. So hit that link that he posted, sub to the channel. You know what I'm saying? Get us to 500 subs so I can do my thing on there. And, trust me, it'll be entertaining. We ain't got to talk about Keisha, at least not all the time. It'll be that if that channel touches on Keisha, it'll be 1%. I don't want to talk about nobody over there from this. I don't want to talk about nothing. That's why I'm doing this conversation over here, because over there we on another level. Like I'm somewhere else with it. So yeah, man, political stuff, this and that, all the things that I figured are conversations that people want to have, things that are relevant. That's what Eloquently, and then my point of view on it, as crazy as that might be when I spit it out. So yeah, that's what I'm doing over there.
That's what's up, man. You got the definitely got the production skills, the understanding, the charisma mouthpiece. So pause. Um, Definitely should keep it going. And we
Right.
talked about that behind the scenes. You got to keep running it up. But yeah, I understand sort of getting to the end of your rope with some of these topics, but just try to pivot it and make it into something else. But yeah, man, I'm definitely tap back in with you more on the Eloquently Petty side, and then I'll have you back over here as well because I definitely got some more stuff I want to holler at on the fitness side, and even some like fitness oriented reaction stuff where we can get a little bit petty with some of these topics that I'll be finding. So definitely want to have you back, man. I appreciate you. All right, y'all. I
Yeah,
appreciate everybody
no
pulling
doubt.
up. Any last shout outs you want to give?
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna shout out some people in the chat, man. Shout out to I'm gonna shout out Tice. I'm gonna shout out my man Mikhail. There's a lot of people in here, man. Let me see. Dr. Thunder. I don't know if Dr. Thunder's still in the building. Let me see here. Yeah, TCW. All of my usual suspects, man. Leon 008, the Ronimer. Gotta say that slow. The Ronimer, right? Everybody that's typical guys in space, man. This is the first time I done fired up this setup in a long time because I'm in the other, you see the other setup. That's in the whole other room. The Eloquently Petty setup is in the other room. So, hopefully I get to where I can stream on that. I've been streaming off my phone, but I'm gonna do a stream on that joint. Up in there, I got to move some equipment around and get that set up in there so I can do like these types of proper streams in that room. I've been doing pre-recorded, But shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to Spawn. Everybody, man. Appreciate y'all jumping in here. I see Nick. Nick is in the building. My man Meta's in the building. Yeah, everybody that jumped on this AM1 joint, you know, I'm gonna tell you the truth, bro. I drag these people in here, man, because like I said, you know, we coming from old shit. So, you know, it's like, okay, AM1 not the ops no more.
It was never that serious, just so we're clear.
Nah, it was never that serious with us. But you know, again, you know, we had our conversation, we had opposing viewpoints and things of that nature. But you know, again, you know, I tried to tell y'all guys, yo, is that guy like is like, you know, we were all again like we standing on the street corner and we standing with this guy. And the SBE drive-by came and just shot up the whole corner, and y'all were trying to hit one guy, and everybody took a bullet. Like we all caught strays for the old man, and it's like, yo, bro, it's not us. It's not us. It's him. It's him. Oh, my chest. It's that guy. We try to tell you it's that guy, and everything that you guys are doing videos about, and all your references and all your innuendo, you talk about him. You're not necessarily talking about us. You've never, from what I can remember, you ain't never made no video about me like, yo, fuck this nigga, keep 100. He's on some bullshit. Like, far as I can see, other than maybe you might have spoken on our difference of opinion, but it ain't never been no salacious type shit to the point where I'm like, oh, this nigga's the ops. You know, you Slide, none of you guys. I don't remember y'all ever coming at me on a personal level. And you know, I rock with Ty City. I fuck with Ramil. I never had, again, that was my first interaction. I didn't know that y'all issue with them over there, you know, Ed and the old man was that serious. They didn't even put me on to it. Like, how you expect, and you get mad at me, oh, you got these people on your nigga, y'all ain't put me on. Y'all ain't tell me, yo, here's a list of the niggas that we don't fuck with.
Blacklisted.
This is what I'm saying. So at any rate, man, we here with it. We maturing. We're moving on. Let's get this money. Fuck that. YouTube is a business. Is people eating off this shit? Let's get a bag off of YouTube. Let's tell some of this stuff, and not necessarily this topic, man. But there are things that we can tell people what they want to hear, and is honest, and is information they need, and is of value, and then we can derive value from it and turn this into a hustle, man. Is ways to do that. So thank you for having me on here, man. And you know, there's a lot of stuff that I wanted to say because I haven't streamed on this topic since December.
You might have to fire one last one up, but see, I let the numbers go crazy and just
I'm eloquently petty. I'm out of stratosphere. No looking back, man. I'm good.
All right.
I'm good with it, man. But my dudes, my audience, my core audience who are not the corny, lame dudes that we're talking about will follow me to my new channel. I'm good. Man. My audience is behind me, man. I'm good.
Spawn said you left us hanging. See,
Spawn, look, now what I'm thinking about doing, the only thing I would consider doing is if I'm gonna touch Red Pill, it's gonna be Patreon. It's not gonna be open YouTube. Nope. No. But eloquently petty, man, I'm still me, man. Come to the new channel, subscribe to that joint, man. I ain't leave y'all hanging. I'm still on the internet. Come rock with me on Eloquently Petty. Hit that link that he posted. Put that on the screen, please, if you don't mind. And I'm gonna let my man go because we about to approach 3 hours. But yeah, rock with me with the new channel. There's other things to speak on. Trust me, I'll make it hot, man. That's it.
Right on. I definitely have you back. I appreciate y'all pulling up on this stream. I'm about to get a little bit more consistent on this. We definitely pushing forward with the self-improvement, fitness topics for sure. Got a lot of stuff coming up. And we've got some ways to make it entertaining so it's not just fully nerding out on the fitness side, because I know everybody hates it, even though everybody needs it. But again, I appreciate y'all pulling up on me. Shout out to Marcus100, Eloquently Petty. We got the link in the chat. I'll put it in the description as well. I appreciate y'all rocking with us.
No doubt.